Welcome to Wife Cheating Story. I hope you have an enjoyable and relaxing time listening. Let's get started.
I live in the kind of neighborhood where grass stays impeccably green year-round and every front door has a wreath that changes with the season. My place is a sprawling two-story with pale stucco walls and a roof of Mediterranean tiles, exactly the sort of thing Lily once said made us look like we had arrived. When we bought it 5 years ago, I believed it was the beginning of some grand chapter, a marriage built on achievements, a daughter's bright future, and a permanent sense of contentment. It's early September now, still warm enough that I can leave the windows open for a breeze. From where I sit in my home office, the hum of a lawnmower and a distant dog's bark form the soundtrack of an ordinary suburban afternoon. I should feel at peace, but the silence inside this house weighs heavily. It's more than the hush of an empty living room. There's tension in the air, subtle but unrelenting, like a hairline fracture no one notices until it splits wide open. Earlier today, Lily texted me about repainting the foyer, again. She wants a specific shade she found online, something so close to our current color that I doubt anyone else would spot the difference. If I ever question these design whims, Lily either sighs or snaps. Sometimes I can't decide which reaction hurts more. That's the Lily I've been seeing lately. Always a bit distant, always on the edge of dissatisfaction. I push back from my desk and wander into the kitchen, making a mental note to check the mail. The countertops glisten under the midday sunlight marble Lily had to have after we moved in. Our house needs to make a statement, she told me. So we made statements, again and again, with new floors, new fixtures, new everything. My phone buzzes. It's a reminder that Felicity, our daughter, is arriving home from college this afternoon for a visit. There was a time I'd be electrified with happiness. But after her last few phone calls, short, snippy, and oddly condescending, I'm bracing myself. Felicity changed during her second year away, drifting more into Lily's orbit of brand names and social media mania. She no longer calls just to catch up. It's usually about money or some story of who's doing better than we are. I open the front door in time to see a silver sedan pull up. Felicity steps out, pushing her sunglasses onto her head, then scanning the house with an unreadable expression. She's dressed in a cream-colored top and a designer skirt I'm sure cost more than the mortgage on my first apartment. Her once brunette hair now sports caramel highlights. "Hey, Dad," she calls, forcing a half-smile. I return the greeting. "How was the drive?" "Fine," she says curtly, lugging her suitcase behind her. "Mom here?" "She's out picking up paint samples," I say. "Should be back any minute." Felicity steps inside, eyes flitting over the foyer. I can practically see her mentally redecorating the space. She offers me a quick kiss on the cheek, an obligatory gesture that leaves a faint trace of expensive perfume in the air. I follow her into the living room, where she drops her bag on the couch. The suitcase handle dangles precariously, and a pang of worry crosses my mind that she might scratch the leather. But I keep quiet. I don't want to start off on the wrong foot. "You lost weight, Dad," she says, eyeing me. "Everything okay?" "Working a lot," I admit. "But I'm good." She shrugs and glances at her phone, thumbs flying. Probably an update to someone about how boring it is to be back in the suburbs. I catch a glimpse of her screen, some social media feed, pictures of well-dressed people in airy apartments. I sense Felicity's dissatisfaction, though she's not saying it out loud. I'm about to ask her about classes when Lily walks in. She's wearing dark jeans, a sleeveless blouse, and holding a small folder of paint swatches. Her hair is styled in a way that seems just a little too perfect for a simple run to the hardware store. "Felicity!" Lily exclaims, arms wide. They share a quick hug, but even that seems orchestrated, more performative than loving. "Mom, you look amazing!" Felicity gushes, studying Lily's new manicure. "Who did your nails?" "A friend recommended a new spa downtown," Lily says. "We'll go together this week." They talk about spa treatments and new boutiques, ignoring me for the moment. I don't mind drifting to the background, but I notice Felicity giving me side glances. Something flickers across her face, annoyance, or maybe pity. Once Felicity heads upstairs to her old bedroom, Lily moves to the kitchen to fetch water. I follow, leaning against the counter while she pulls out a glass. "Another project?" I ask, nodding at the folder of paint samples. Lily lifts a brow. I just want the house to look fresh. Why do you always phrase it like an interrogation? Her tone is borderline hostile, and I feel my chest tighten. This is how arguments start these days. Small, seemingly insignificant triggers. She sets the folder on the countertop and crosses her arms, posture rigid. It's not an interrogation, I say, voice calmer than I feel. Just a question. Her eyes shift. You work too much, Garrett. You barely notice these things. I'm the one who actually cares about our home. There it is, that old complaint. I can't help but recall the countless hours I've spent working to afford these renovations. But there's no point starting a fight. I nod, stepping aside to let her fill her glass at the sink. I wait for a moment, hoping for some sign of softness or at least normality. Instead, she brushes past me and heads upstairs, presumably to catch up with Felicity. The air feels heavier now, the sense of disconnection more pronounced. I step onto the front porch for a moment, letting the warm breeze wash over me. I notice the sidewalk is empty, neat flower beds lining each side. From an outsider's perspective, we have it all. But inside, we're drifting apart, more than drifting, really. We're unraveling. My phone buzzes again, a message from a coworker about tomorrow's meeting. The day's routine demands my attention. Part of me wants to drop it all, walk up to Lily and ask what's changed. But every time I try, she deflects or defends. She's always painting me as the unfeeling one, the man who doesn't get it. Returning indoors, I pass by family photos on the wall, Lily, Felicity, and me smiling in front of Disneyland, a candid shot from one of our earlier anniversaries. Memories that once made me proud now make me uneasy. I can't pinpoint when it happened, but the color and warmth in those photos feel more like illusions than something we truly live. That's the thing about illusions. From a distance, they appear perfect. Up close, the cracks show, and I'm starting to see them everywhere. In the dining room, Lily has set the paint swatches on the table. There are at least 10 slight variations of a pale eggshell color. Maybe, I think, if the house is never done, she'll never have to confront the real problems. I hear muffled laughter upstairs, Felicity's voice, high and bright. I wish I could feel relief that mother and daughter are bonding, but the tone is off. There's a kind of edge to it, a conspiratorial undertone. The thought nags at me. Am I the butt of their jokes? Before I can chase that question too far, Felicity heads downstairs, phone in hand. She gives me a quick nod. Mom's changing for dinner. She wants to go out, if that's okay? Sure, I say. Where? Felicity's eyes sparkle with mild amusement. She was talking about that new place in the city, you know, the bistro that's been all over social media. It's pricey, but everyone says it's worth it. All right, I manage, though my mind's already tallying the cost. As she disappears back upstairs, I consider the image we'll present at that restaurant, a picture-perfect family enjoying a luxurious meal. It'll probably end up on Felicity's social media, garnering likes and comments about how blessed we are. No one will guess how fragile everything is beneath the surface. I stand there in the quiet, my heart heavy with a realization. This household is full of designs and illusions. Lily thinks another coat of paint might conceal the decay, while Felicity wants the perfect filter to show off a life she can brag about. And me? I'm the man who bankrolled it all, the father who should be proud, but instead feels a knot in his stomach. It's not just Lily's dissatisfaction or Felicity's aloofness. It's something deeper, like an undercurrent pulling us away from each other. As I glance at the silent phone in my hand, a question forms. How long can a family pretend to be perfect before the cracks become irreparable? The next morning, I wake early to review a presentation for a major client. The house is quiet. Lily and Felicity are still asleep, or at least hidden behind closed doors. I brew coffee in the kitchen, the aroma filling the space that should feel warm and inviting but somehow feels cold. By the time I step out to the driveway, the sun's angle casts short shadows. I take a moment to observe the meticulously trimmed hedges Lily insisted on. Even nature in our yard has been shaped to suit her aesthetic. Climbing into my car, I can't shake the uneasy feeling about last night's dinner. We ended up at that trendy bistro in the city. Lily ordered an entree whose name I can't even pronounce correctly, and Felicity was snapping pictures for social media the entire time. Whenever I tried to ask about her classes, she mumbled something vague about the usual. Lily kept making snide remarks about how I was too quiet and seemed bored. If I had spoken more, she would have likely complained that I was dominating the conversation. During the drive to my office building, I replay those little jabs in my head. I'm not one to stew in resentment, but something's different now. It's as if my usual patience has worn thin. I remember a time when Lily's subtle digs hurt less because I believed she loved me regardless. Now I'm not so sure. At work, the day moves in a blur of calls and emails. My assistant, Marta, notices I'm distracted. She offers me a sympathetic smile when I fumble with my coffee mug. "Everything okay at home, Mr. Townsend?" I force a reassuring nod. "Just a lot going on." She leaves me to my thoughts, and I notice the way my coworkers laugh and chat in the hallway, oblivious to my personal issues. That's the thing about professional life. It's a separate world where we pretend everything is fine, no matter what chaos we left at home. Around midday, Lily texts me a photo, a new treadmill. "Cade recommended this model," the message reads. "Can we order it?" My first reaction is confusion. Who is Cade? It takes me a moment to recall that's the personal trainer Lily mentioned briefly at dinner. I respond with a simple, "Is this something you really need?" Her reply is instant. "Yes, obviously. You've been working so much, I have to take care of myself. Cade says this will help me tone effectively." There's an instant flash of irritation, but I clamp down on it. Treadmill? We already have a fully equipped gym in the basement weights, a stationary bike, even a treadmill, although not the latest model. I type out a measured response. "We'll discuss tonight." No answer from Lily. Just silence, the kind that leaves me to imagine her reaction, likely an exasperated eye roll. That evening, I step through the front door to find Felicity sprawled on the living room couch. She's flipping through channels on TV, phone balanced on her knee. She greets me with a casual, "Hey, Dad," without making eye contact. "Where's your mom?" I ask, loosening my tie. "Gym," Felicity says, muting the TV. "She's with Cade. They had a late afternoon session. I can't pinpoint why, but something about hearing this man's name sets me on edge. I try to keep my tone neutral. She must be excited about these workouts." Felicity looks up, her gaze sharp. She's finally doing something for herself. "You should be supportive." The implication stings that I'm not supportive. "I am," I say firmly. "I just want to make sure it's not a pointless expense. We've got plenty of equipment here." Felicity arches an eyebrow. "Oh, you're worried about expenses now? You bought me that new car last semester without blinking. But sure, a treadmill is just too much to handle." Her sarcasm leaves me speechless. She returns her attention to the TV, leaving me standing in the entryway, feeling more like a stranger than a father. A short while later, Lily returns, still in her workout clothes. Her top clings to her, hair tied in a messy bun, face flushed with a sheen of sweat. She looks good, vibrant even, but the moment our eyes meet, I sense friction. "Busy day?" she asks, peeling off her sneakers. "Yeah," I reply. "Yours?" She waves a hand dismissively. "It was fine. I tried a new routine with Cade. He's an absolute pro at customizing exercises. My legs are burning, but in a good way." I swallow the urge to comment on how she never seemed that enthusiastic about fitness before. Instead, I mention the treadmill. "You texted me about ordering it?" "Oh," she says, as if she'd forgotten. "Yes, I'd like to buy it. Cade recommended it for my cardio routine. He says the older models can strain your joints." Her voice lilts with admiration for Cade. It's all I can do to keep from rolling my eyes. "We can look into it," I say, a polite deflection. Lily crosses her arms. "Look, if we can afford a new SUV for Felicity, we can afford a good piece of fitness equipment. You're always telling me to stay healthy. This is me trying." I don't recall always telling her to stay healthy, but I hold my tongue. "We'll figure it out," I say quietly. She glances at Felicity, who is pretending to be engrossed in the TV. Something unspoken passes between them, a little smile, a nod. It's as though they're in on a joke I haven't heard. Without a word, Lily heads upstairs to shower, leaving me and Felicity in awkward silence. Eventually, she mumbles something about going out with friends and slips out the door. I stand alone in the living room. It's decorated with pristine white furniture and polished glass side tables. From the outside, we look like the classic suburban dream. On the inside, I'm surrounded by an eerily curated emptiness, from the perfectly staged couch cushions to the tension that silently chokes the air. While rummaging through the mail, I notice an envelope from Felicity's college. It's a new tuition statement. No note or explanation. Just a number one significantly higher than last semester. My head throbs. Another expense, another conversation put off. I wonder if Lily and Felicity think money grows on trees. It's not that we're struggling, but there's a difference between being comfortable and spending recklessly to impress a personal trainer or random social media followers. At dinner, which ends up just me reheating leftovers, I think about how we got here. When Felicity was young, Lily was so devoted to making sure our daughter had everything. I worked longer hours to accommodate that. Over time, Lily found new hobbies decorating, tennis clubs, spa days. Now she's found Cade. The emotional distance between us feels like an inevitable next step in a pattern I failed to disrupt. I recall Lily's words from earlier. "You're always telling me to stay healthy." Did I really? Or is that just a convenient narrative to justify more spending? My mind wanders to the treadmill in our basement, practically unused. That alone tells me this is about more than exercise. It's about Lily's restlessness and Felicity's newfound attitude, about how they bond over an excitement that excludes me. After finishing my food, I head upstairs to my office. The only solace I find these days is in organizing tasks, reviewing bank statements, or poring over old photos. It's a strange routine, but it soothes me to see data that doesn't lie, numbers that tell me exactly where we stand. Yet in the quiet of the night, all I can focus on is what those numbers can't reveal, how Lily and Felicity truly feel. Because if the environment in this house is any indicator, something's festering under the surface, growing inch by inch. And I can't tell if it's a crack that will heal or a fault line that's destined to break wide open. Saturday arrives with the promise of a sunny afternoon, and Lily suggests we host a casual barbecue. Casual, in her dictionary, means a catered spread from a fancy deli, a curated drink list, and floral arrangements that cost more than the average monthly grocery bill. Still, I help set up in the backyard, hauling around folding chairs and tables because, for better or worse, I want to present a united front. I watch her in the morning light, bustling about in a stylish sundress, making sure every pillow on our outdoor lounge is meticulously placed. Felicity's in the kitchen, snapping photos of the setup and posting them on her stories. I see the hashtags: weekend vibes, family time, living my best life. The irony is palpable, but I keep it to myself. A few friends and neighbors arrive, exchanging pleasantries. I notice how Lily's mood brightens when there's an audience. She laughs with that airy lilt she used to save just for private moments. Felicity moves between clusters of people, phone in hand, capturing authentic candids. Around noon, Lily's old friend Catherine shows up, decked out in a designer blouse. She greets Lily with genuine warmth, but I sense tension between them. Maybe they're competing in some subtle dance of social rank. Catherine compliments Lily's figure, asking about her new fitness routine. "I've been working with a personal trainer," Lily says, eyes flicking in my direction. "He's really changed my outlook on health." Catherine beams. "You look incredible. Maybe I should book a session." Lily chuckles and waves a dismissive hand. "He's pretty exclusive about taking on new clients, but I can try to put in a good word." The conversation drifts to weekend getaways and brand name accessories. I slip away to check on the grill. A quick glance at the cooler confirms we're well stocked on expensive craft beer, another item Lily insisted upon. As I'm fussing with a tray of vegetables, Felicity sidles up. She sets her phone down on a nearby table. "Everyone's raving about the house," she says. "I posted some pictures too." I nod, flipping the veggies. "That's nice. People seem to be enjoying themselves." She folds her arms, stepping closer. "So, Dad, about that tuition bill?" I tense, but I keep my voice measured. "Yes?" She sighs. "My major requires more credits, and I'm taking an extra course load. I've also joined a business club that has membership fees." I arch a brow. "Business club? I thought your focus was marketing." "It is, but clubs help with networking," she says, brushing it off. "Anyway, the total's gone up. I'll need more money than usual this semester. Inside, I bristle. Between Lily's mania for house projects and Felicity's new demands, I'm feeling cornered. But I manage a curt nod. We'll discuss it later, okay? Sure, she says, giving me a look that suggests she expects no argument, then glances at her phone again. Oh, by the way, Cade might drop by. Mom invited him. She says it casually, but the statement feels like a dart thrown into my chest. Lily invited her personal trainer to a barbecue at our home without mentioning it to me. He's coming here? I ask. Possibly, Felicity replies. He had a client this morning. Mom said it would be nice to introduce him to everyone. The background chatter of neighbors laughing and kids playing in the yard fades momentarily. I realize Lily is stepping into some new comfort zone with Cade enough to bring him into our social circle. I press down my temper. We'll see if he shows up, I mutter, returning to the grill. Felicity nods and picks up her phone to snap a few more photos of the yard, leaving me with a knot in my stomach. The idea that Lily would invite Cade to our barbecue, makes me feel like a guest at my own event. While plating the grilled vegetables, I overhear Lily near the fire pit, speaking loudly to Catherine and a few other friends about open-minded approaches to marriage. My pulse quickens when I hear Felicity's laughter chiming in. I only catch snippets, but words like freedom, trust, and non-traditional setups hover in the air. Trying not to make a scene, I walk over. Catherine greets me with a bright smile, but Lily doesn't miss a beat. Garrett, she says sweetly, we were just talking about how some couples keep the spark alive by letting each other explore new experiences. That line dangles uncomfortably in the air. One woman shifts on her feet, glancing at me for a reaction. Catherine looks politely intrigued, yet cautious. Felicity stares at me with half-lidded eyes, as if daring me to object. Keeping my tone neutral, I respond, exploring new experiences is good, but I guess it depends on what we're talking about. Lily's eyes flick toward Felicity, and Felicity pipes up, Mom's all about trying new workout regimes and new... She stops abruptly, swallowing what might have been a loaded comment. Oh, is that Cade? Lily interrupts, craning her neck toward the gate. My heart jolts as a tall, muscular man steps into the yard, wearing casual shorts and a tight t-shirt that does little to hide his physique. The moment Cade approaches, Lily's face lights up. She waves him over, introducing him to the group. He greets everyone with a confident smile, exuding the charm of someone used to making a good first impression. I force a handshake, noting the strength of his grip. He meets my gaze squarely. Mr. Townsend, he says, Lily tells me you're quite the workaholic. I release his hand and shrug. When you run a business, hours can be long. I've heard you're making a great impact on Lily's fitness goals. Cade grins, flashing white teeth. She's very dedicated. I'm proud to help her stay motivated. The way Lily beams at him makes my stomach twist. Felicity sidles up to them, slipping an arm briefly around Lily's waist in a show of solidarity. They stand there, the three of them, while I remain an outsider in my own yard. Eventually, Lily leads Cade to a buffet table. I see them chatting animatedly, leaning in close. Felicity stands near them, phone in hand, snapping pictures or perhaps filming a short clip. A wave of anger or maybe despair washes over me. But I quell it for the sake of the neighbors. A bit later, Catherine corners me by the cooler. Her expression is concerned. Garrett, is everything all right? She asks gently. I'm getting a weird vibe. I exhale slowly. You and me both. I glance at Lily, who's laughing at something Cade said. I'm not sure what's going on with her. Catherine pats my shoulder. She's changed a lot, especially this past year. You two should talk. I nod, sipping from my bottle of craft beer. Talk if only it were that simple. Lily rarely wants to talk these days, except to ask for money or changes around the house, and Felicity has become a mouthpiece for her mother's frustrations. The afternoon drags on in a haze of forced smiles and surface-level chatter. The only times I feel remotely comfortable are when neighbors approach me to talk about work or the yard. Meanwhile, Lily and Cade appear enthralled in each other's company. Felicity watches them like a proud spectator, occasionally exchanging knowing smirks with Lily. As the sky shifts to a deeper hue, guests begin filtering out. Cade leaves with a confident wave, telling Lily he'll see her at the gym tomorrow. She glances my way only once after he's gone, a brief flicker of something like guilt or challenge in her eyes. When the last guest has departed, Lily and Felicity gather plates and cups in the kitchen, still giggling about jokes Cade made. They barely acknowledge me. I slip out to the backyard alone, sitting in a lawn chair to let the night air cool my nerves. The faint chatter from inside filters through the open door. Felicity praising Cade's humor, Lily agreeing that he's so different from the usual types. I run a hand over my face, feeling a sense of dread. This is more than just a trainer-client relationship. There's an undercurrent of possibility, or maybe inevitability, that terrifies me. And yet, I don't have concrete proof, just suspicions. In the darkness, I reflect on Lily's open comments about marriage freedom, Felicity's unwavering support, and Cade's cozy involvement. Am I truly paranoid, or are these seeds of distance about to sprout into something bigger and far more destructive than I imagined? A week after the barbecue, I arrive home from work to a strangely charged atmosphere in the living room. Lily sits on the couch, posture rigid, eyes fixed on the TV, yet clearly not watching. Felicity stands nearby, arms crossed, like she's guarding her mother. "Hi," I say, loosening my tie. "Everything all right?" Lily mutes the TV. "We need to talk, Garrett." Instantly, a cold sweat breaks out at the back of my neck. The last time Lily said we need to talk so seriously was, I can't even recall. Maybe never. I set my briefcase down carefully. Felicity motions for me to sit on the armchair across from them. "You might want to be comfortable," she says. I lower myself onto the chair, feeling the tension coil in the room. "So what's going on?" Lily takes a breath, exhales slowly. "I've been thinking about our marriage, our relationship, and I realize I need something different." My heart rate spikes. "Different how?" Her gaze flicks to Felicity, who nods, as if giving Lily permission to continue. Lily looks back at me. "I've been reading about open marriages, alternative relationship structures. It's not as taboo as you might think, Garrett. Lots of modern couples do it." The words sink in, but it's like my brain is slow to process. "Open marriage? Lily, what are you talking about?" She lifts her chin. "I'm talking about exploring the possibility of other connections, physical, maybe even emotional, with people who fulfill needs you haven't met for a long time." A chill crawls up my spine. "Are you saying you want to see other people while we're married?" Felicity breaks in, rolling her eyes. "Dad, don't act so shocked. This is the 21st century. People do it all the time. Mom deserves more than you've been giving her." Anger flares, but I hold it in check, focusing on Lily. "Where is this coming from?" She exhales slowly, steeling herself. "I've been feeling unfulfilled for years, Garrett. You bury yourself in work, you hardly pay attention to me, and when you do, it's always about expenses or schedules. I need something exciting, something that reminds me I'm still alive. My mind is a whirlwind. Is that why you've been spending so much time with Cade?" Felicity smirks. "He's a nice guy, Dad, and he gets Mom in ways you never did." A nauseating fear grips me, but I keep my expression neutral. "So, you want me to just agree to let you, what, date him?" Lily's voice tightens. "I want the freedom to explore, with Cade or anyone else I connect with, and in an open marriage, you'd have that freedom too if you wanted." I stare at her, stunned. I have absolutely no interest in seeing other people. "I married you." She shrugs, crossing her arms. "If that's your choice, fine. But you don't get to hold me back. I'm telling you now, this is what I need." The finality in her tone hits me like a punch in the gut. My eyes shift to Felicity, who's wearing an almost triumphant expression. "And you approve of this?" I ask her incredulously. Felicity laughs without humor. "Approve? I encouraged it. Mom deserves passion. You're never around, and when you are, you're a buzzkill. Cade actually sees her value." A million thoughts race through my mind, questions of love, loyalty, betrayal. I want to slam my fist on the table or shout, but I keep my voice controlled. "Lily," I say, "do you realize what you're asking? This is our marriage. It's not some experiment." She meets my gaze, eyes surprisingly steady. "That's exactly what it is, Garrett, and we've failed it for too long. Look, either you accept that I'm going to see Cade, and maybe others, or we might have to consider a separation." The cold way she delivers this ultimatum chills me. I looked to Felicity for any flicker of empathy, but she's stone-faced, a silent ally to her mother's demands. So that's it? I manage, my throat tight. No conversation about counseling or spending more time together? Lily sighs, as though I'm missing the point. We tried date nights, spa weekends, even vacations. You just scrolled through emails or worried about budgets. I need more, Garrett, more than you can give me. I swallow, feeling the bitterness well up. When exactly did you decide Cade was the solution? A slight flush creeps into Lily's cheeks. It's not just him, he's an example of what's out there. I'm not a dead woman. I have needs, and if you won't meet them— I have, or at least I tried, I interject, voice shaking slightly. But you never said anything about open marriage. You never asked for therapy. Felicity rolls her eyes again, exasperated. Dad, stop making this about you. Mom's telling you what she needs. Either support her or face the consequences. I grip the armrests, stunned at how easily Felicity sides against me. This is my daughter, the child I raised, now telling me that my wife's potential infidelity is something I should support. After a long pause, I manage to speak quietly. I don't agree with this. Lily's lip trembles slightly, but her stance remains firm. I'm not asking you to. I'm telling you. There's a finality in her words that leaves no room for negotiation. Suddenly, all the little remarks, the flirtations, the talk about modern relationships clicks into place. This has been building for months, maybe years. My heart pounds. If that's what you want, I can't stop you, I say, forcing calm. But don't expect me to stand by and watch. She narrows her eyes, searching my face. What does that mean? It means, I say, keeping my voice level, that if you decide to go down this road, there will be consequences, for all of us. Felicity snorts. You sound like you're threatening her. God, Dad, grow up. Times have changed. I hold her gaze. She doesn't flinch. The daughter I once knew would at least show hesitation, but this version is hardened, almost cruel. Something inside me shifts a mixture of heartbreak and cold resolve. Lily stands, smoothing her skirt. So, we've made ourselves clear. I'm going to keep seeing Cade, and if you want to be mature about it, you'll let this happen without drama. Silence envelops the room. For a moment, I wonder if I'm in a nightmare. Then I realize it's worse. This is reality. I rise slowly, picking up my briefcase. My voice is steady, though my insides feel like they're trembling. I need some air. Without another glance, I walk toward the door. Felicity calls after me, voice dripping with disdain. Don't do anything stupid, Dad. I don't respond. I step outside, the evening sky stretching overhead. A warm wind rustles the trees, the suburban street quiet. All I can think about is how my wife and daughter just blindsided me with an ultimatum. As I stand on the porch, the gravity of it all sinks in. Lily wants an open marriage, one that apparently involves Cade. Felicity is cheering her on, convinced I'm the obstacle to Lily's happiness. My entire life feels upended. I fish my phone from my pocket. My finger hovers over the screen, debating whom to call. Friends, family, a lawyer. Everything spins in my head. Finally, I open my contacts and stare at the name of a reputable divorce attorney I heard about through a colleague, Owen Merrick. I don't call him yet. But the thought is there, forming solidly in my mind. If Lily wants war, maybe I need to be ready. The porch light flickers. Inside, Felicity and Lily are probably congratulating themselves on their modern approach. They expect me to yield, to be quiet and complicit, but a simmering anger replaces my shock. I've given them everything: this house, the lifestyle, unconditional love, and they treat me like a useless bystander. I refuse to crumble. If they want to cross a line, they'll soon see that even a patient man can become an implacable adversary. I exhale, eyes drifting to the dark sky. Yes, I think, pressing my phone's screen until it lights up with Owen's name. I'm not calling him tonight, but I will soon. Because if Lily and Felicity believe this new arrangement is going to happen without repercussions, they're sorely mistaken. Life at home feels like a house of mirrors. Every direction I turn, I see warped reflections of the marriage I thought I had. I'm only a week removed from Lily and Felicity's demand that I embrace modern relationships, but I hardly recognize my own life. It's a Wednesday afternoon when I first notice Felicity's latest social media post. I'm in my office, burying myself in spreadsheets to avoid replaying the confrontation. My phone buzzes, a notification that Felicity has tagged me in something. Hesitating, I open the app. Instantly, my chest tightens. The caption reads, "Boring husbands better step up, mom deserves the world, fresh start modern love." Accompanying it is a not-too-subtle photo of Lily at the gym, leaning against a wall of mirrors in sleek leggings and a tank top. I can't help but notice a reflection of someone presumably Cade standing just outside the frame. It's an obvious dig at me, loud and public for all our friends to see. A swirl of embarrassment and anger hits me. I click to see the post's comments. Most are from Felicity's college friends praising Lily's empowerment. A few from local acquaintances express confusion, politely asking if everything's okay at home. I fight the urge to respond. Instead, I quietly take screenshots, saving them in a hidden folder on my computer. I might need these later. That evening, I slip into the house, not knowing if Lily or Felicity is even home. The living room is empty, lights off. In the kitchen, dirty dishes sit in the sink, rare, considering Lily usually hires cleaners to keep everything spotless. It's only as I head upstairs that I hear voices. The door to Lily's bedroom. Our bedroom, though I haven't slept there much lately, is slightly ajar. Lily's laughter echoes into the hallway. "Cade says I'm doing incredible," she gushes. "He thinks I should try a new supplement." Felicity's voice joins in. "Definitely. And you know Dad should pay for it. He's always talking about health, right?" There's a pause, then Lily's half-laugh, half-sigh. "He's so stuck in his ways, health is important as long as it fits in the budget." "That's him." My stomach knots. They're talking about me like I'm some distant stranger they have to swindle. Pressing my lips together, I consider walking in, demanding an explanation. But I remember the last time I confronted Lily, she turned it around, calling me controlling. Instead, I head to the guest room I've practically claimed as my own. Throwing my briefcase onto the bed, I sense how lonely this space is. The walls are bare, the furniture minimal. It's more like a hotel suite than part of my home. I try to focus on normal tasks, check my email, shower, maybe watch a movie to decompress. But my thoughts keep wandering to Felicity's post. The public nature of it stings, like a public announcement that Lily sees me as a worthless bystander. Later that night, while rummaging for a late snack, Lily appears in the doorway. She's wearing a silky robe, face lightly flushed. If I didn't know better, I'd think she just stepped out of a romantic evening. She glances at me, expression unreadable. "Did you eat dinner?" "Not yet," I say quietly. "I got home and no one was around." She shrugs. "I was out with Felicity at the gym. We grabbed smoothies. Didn't think to pick you up anything." Somehow her words convey less of an apology and more of an indifference. I open the fridge, take out leftovers from 2 nights ago. As I heat them, Lily leans against the counter, phone in hand. She scrolls, occasionally smirking at something on her screen. In an attempt to maintain civility, I say, "Felicity posted something about me today about being a boring husband. You saw it?" Lily arches a brow. "She showed me. Look, Garrett, it's just a post. Don't be so sensitive." I let out a slow breath. "It's humiliating, Lily. I'm your husband, and she's publicly mocking me." "Maybe," she counters. "If you joined us at the gym or took an interest in what we're doing, she wouldn't feel that way. But you're always at work or locked in your office." Her blame hits me like a slap. She meets my eyes for a brief moment before brushing past me. The conversation is over in her mind. I stand there, microwaved leftovers in hand, feeling a foreign mix of sorrow and anger swirl in my gut. I realize something. I'm alone in my own house. Lily and Felicity have formed a tight alliance around Cade, gym visits, and this twisted notion of modern marriage. And me. I've become an unwanted presence, relegated to the background. I remind myself to keep calm, to keep track of every slight. If I lash out impulsively, they'll twist it into me being paranoid or controlling. No, I need to watch, document, and wait. That night, I lie awake in the guest room, scrolling through Felicity's other posts. There's an entire album of Lily's progress pics at the gym, some with the corner of Cade's face peeking in. Captions about fresh starts and living life on her own terms. Another wave of screenshots, quietly saved to my secret folder. I'm not ready to confront them head-on yet. But I won't ignore the betrayal either. My mind churns with a dangerous sense of purpose. If Lily and Felicity have decided to humiliate me, I'll need proof carefully gathered, meticulously organized. I have no idea how far they intend to push me, but I'm no stranger to strategy. I learned it in business, but I never thought I'd use it against my own family. As I drift off, I recall a recent memory, the day Felicity was born, how Lily smiled at me in the hospital room, saying we'd do anything to protect this little girl. The sharp memory of that vow contrasts brutally with the tension we live in now. Broken vows, broken trust. That's what we have. A few mornings later, I catch Lily typing furiously on her laptop at the kitchen table. Felicity, sipping a protein shake, hovers by her side, nodding approval at whatever's on screen. They barely notice me enter until I clear my throat. "What's going on?" I ask, keeping my tone polite. Lily closes the laptop slightly, eyes flicking with caution. "I'm looking at a new program. Cade recommended some high-end fitness package that includes personal training sessions, meal plans, and monthly workshops." I glance at Felicity, who's wearing that smug half-smile I've come to dread. "Workshops?" I echo. "How much does this cost?" Felicity twirls her straw. "A couple grand, maybe? Mom's worth it. She's like a brand new woman." Lily crosses her arms, exasperation flickering across her face. "Garrett, I'm doing this for my health. Aren't you always talking about wanting me to be healthy? Now I have a chance to work with a top professional." There's that old argument again: if you oppose me, you're against my well-being. I take a breath, willing my voice to remain calm. A couple $1,000s for a gym plan is excessive. We already have gym memberships, equipment at home. Why can't you just do normal sessions? Lily lifts her chin. "Because I'm past normal. I want extraordinary. That's what Cade promises. Felicity supports me." I note how she's begun to mention Felicity as if her opinion is equal to mine. The daughter has replaced the father in Lily's eyes, forging an alliance of disrespect. "I'm not comfortable with this expense right now," I say diplomatically. "We should talk it over, look at finances." "Finances?" Lily echoes. "Are you implying I can't make decisions on how to take care of my body?" Felicity sets her shake down. "Dad, you sound like you're policing her. It's controlling." The word controlling hits me hard because I know it's their go-to label now. "I'm not policing," I say carefully. "I'm asking for some reason." Lily slams the laptop shut. "You know what? Fine. We'll figure out another way to afford it. Maybe Cade can help me set up a payment plan or something." Her sarcasm is tangible, and Felicity shoots me a glare before they both exit the kitchen together, leaving me alone with a silence that feels like a condemnation. I catch a glimpse of the program's webpage still open on the laptop screen. Bold images of Cade, arms folded, smiling confidently. My chest tightens. He's everywhere on their phones, in the gym, in their heads. Later that day at work, I can't concentrate. My thoughts circle back to Lily's dismissive attitude. It's not even about the money. It's the principle, the unsubtle message that I'm now an inconvenient checkbook for her new life. If I dare question her or Felicity, I'm automatically the controlling husband. Finally, over lunch, I slip away from my office and head to a small cafe across town. In a dim corner, I meet a man recommended by an old friend. His name is Owen Merrick, an attorney who specializes in family law. I'm not entirely sure how to begin the conversation, but once we sit, Owen regards me with a calm, professional gaze. "What can I do for you, Mr. Townsend?" he asks softly, leaning forward. I clear my throat, feeling a mix of shame and relief. This might sound strange, but I suspect my wife as well. She claims she wants an open marriage. She's involved with another man. Owen's expression remains neutral. "I see. And you're looking to protect yourself?" I nod, fiddling with the coffee cup in front of me. "I can't say I'm ready to file for anything yet, but I want to know my options. If things get worse, if finances spiral, or if she tries to milk me for more, I need to have proof that there's wrongdoing on her part." He nods thoughtfully. "In cases like these, documentation is crucial. Text messages, social media posts, financial statements showing how she's spending money. If you suspect an affair or potential fraud, gather everything. The more thorough, the better." His advice resonates with what I've already begun doing, saving screenshots, noting the credit card charges. I exhale, tension easing from my shoulders. So I'm not crazy for wanting evidence? Owen shakes his head, eyes kind. You're protecting yourself in a situation where lines are blurred. If she's publicly mocking you or bragging about spending your money, all that matters to a judge, especially if you can prove she's funneling resources to a third party like this personal trainer. Personal trainer. Just hearing that phrase stings, though it's a clinical term for the man who's meddled in my marriage. Thank you, I manage. I'll keep collecting. I'm not ready to pull the trigger on anything yet. He hands me a business card. Call me if you need further help, and try to stay calm in the meantime. That last piece of advice lingers with me as I drive back to the office. Stay calm. It's easier said than done, but if I'm going to weather this, I need a cool head and a plan. When I get home that evening, Felicity and Lily are out, probably at the gym. The silence in the house feels suffocating, a reminder that it's no longer mine in the way it once was. I wander upstairs to the master bedroom. Inside, Lily's vanity is covered with new makeup and products I've never seen before. Tags from an expensive lingerie set lie in the wastebasket, though I've never seen her wear anything like that for me. Swallowing the lump in my throat, I snap photos of the receipts scattered on her desk. They show excessive charges at boutiques, beauty stores, spa treatments. This must be the fitness package Lily insisted on. Checking the timestamp, they date back weeks. She's been plotting all of this far longer than I realized. That night, I lock my door in the guest room, open my laptop, and begin organizing the evidence. Social media screenshots, bank statements, receipts, Lily's suspicious messages, I want them all in one secure folder. My mind reels, a mix of betrayal and practicality. Before bed, my phone buzzes with an alert. Another charge from some high-end juice bar. I can almost picture Lily and Felicity clinking fancy smoothies, toasting to their new life free from my control. My pulse pounds with a quiet fury. They think they can crush me with humiliation, that I'll just keep paying and keep quiet. A few days later, I'm in the living room, flipping through TV channels aimlessly. Lily and Felicity storm in with matching triumphant grins. I tense, expecting some fresh demand about new classes or Cade's workshop. Dad, Felicity says, can you hand me my phone? I left it on the coffee table. I nod, spotting her phone near a decorative vase. Sure, I reply, grabbing it. But as I pass it over, my eyes inadvertently catch a message on the lock screen. Cade, can't wait for tonight's secret suite upgrade. I freeze and Felicity notices. She snatches the phone, stuffing it into her pocket. Lily's eyes flick between us, a quick spark of alarm crossing her features. Felicity plays it off with a mocking laugh. Geez, Dad, don't snoop. My heart thunders. Sorry, I say, trying to sound casual. Didn't mean to look. Lily lifts a dismissive hand. It's nothing. Cade's just letting us know he got some reward from his gym partners. Relax. Something about her tone rings false. They exchange a fleeting glance that feels like a well-rehearsed cover story. I sense the final pieces falling into place. Lily and Cade have reached a level of intimacy that includes secret hotel suites. I slip away quietly, feigning disinterest, but inside, my mind is racing. If Lily and Felicity are meeting Cade at a hotel, that's beyond innocent open marriage talk. It's a blatant affair. I recall Owen's words, gather everything. That night, as I head to bed, I can't shake the tension from earlier. Around midnight, I hear movement downstairs. Peering from the hallway, I see Lily in a sleek outfit with a small overnight bag. Felicity is with her, whispering, Don't worry, Dad's asleep. Cade's already there, right? My stomach twists. They creep out the front door, leaving me alone with the silent echo of betrayal. A swirl of heartbreak and anger grips me. This is no longer speculation. Lily is stepping out for a secret rendezvous, encouraged by our daughter. Instead of confronting them head-on, I do what Owen advised. I gather evidence. Taking out my phone, I snap a picture of the time on the clock along with an image of Lily's empty closet space, where some of her clothes are gone. My plan is to cross-reference hotel charges or suspicious receipts. The next morning, Felicity strolls into the kitchen wearing an oversized sweatshirt, hair pulled into a messy bun. She pours herself coffee as if nothing's wrong. Morning, Dad, she says. not quite making eye contact. "Morning," I reply, forcing a neutral tone. "Where's your mom?" She shrugs, sipping her coffee. "At the gym early. She might do some errands with Cade after." I quietly watch her, noticing the faint tension in her shoulders. She's lying without blinking, something that stabs at my chest. This is the same girl who used to confide in me about bullies in middle school and heartbreak in high school. Now she's an accomplice, weaving a web of deception. Later that day, I'm working from home when a notification pops up. Felicity has posted a new photo. Curiosity wages war with the dread in my gut. I open it. A selfie of Lily glammed up with a champagne glass in hand. She's in a luxurious room that looks suspiciously like a high-end hotel suite. The caption, "Living her best life, can't let old routines hold you back." My heartbreak morphs into steely resolve. She's flaunting it, not even trying to hide. Or maybe I realize she's confident I won't do anything. That night I text Owen. "They've escalated. I have proof now. Meeting tomorrow?" His reply comes swiftly. "Yes, bring everything." Stepping out of the house for fresh air, I catch a glimpse of neighbors walking their dog, normal suburban life continuing unabated. Meanwhile, my marriage is disintegrating in plain sight. Determined to bolster my case, I gather bank statements the next morning. Sure enough, there's a charge for a fancy suite at a high-end downtown hotel booked under Lily's name but on my credit card. Another line item for a pricey bottle of champagne. The bill is nearly $1,000 for one night. Public disrespect. That's what it feels like. Lily and Felicity are telling the world through social media and reckless spending that I'm irrelevant. That's the moment my heartbreak crystallizes into a sharper kind of anger, an emotion that wants to defend my dignity. By day's end, I have a small stack of printed screenshots, credit card bills, and phone records. There's no turning back. I find myself alone in the house again, Lily and Felicity presumably at some new fitness workshop. The irony is stifling. They're likely gossiping with Cade about their next big fling while I finalize my quiet plan. Standing by the large window in the living room, I recall how Lily once teased me for always playing it safe in business, calling me cautious to a fault. Right now, caution feels like my greatest asset. I don't want them to sense the shift in me, not yet. They've crossed a line, and in doing so, they've shown me exactly who they are. My job is to methodically gather enough to protect myself and to ensure they can't twist the narrative. Before I turn in, Felicity's latest post pings again. This time, it's a shot of Lily stepping out of a sleek black car, presumably Cade's. The caption, "Better experiences with the right partner, modern love, no limits." The audacity sparks a cold determination. They might be celebrating no limits, but I have limits, and they've trampled on everyone. If Lily ever tries to claim half my assets or paint me as the villain, these posts will come back to haunt them. A late Friday rolls around and I catch wind of something big. Lily and Cade have apparently booked a more extravagant hotel suite downtown, a place known for its panoramic skyline views. How do I know? Because Felicity, in her trademark style, posts a glitzy promotional photo from the hotel's website to her story, tagging Lily. The caption, "Making moves tonight, some people better stay out of the way." I hover by my desk, phone in hand, reading that line over and over. There's no subtlety here. They're practically inviting me to watch them humiliate me. Fine, I think, my pulse throbbing. Let them. As the clock nears 9 p.m., I sit in my study, curtains drawn. An eerie calm settles over me. My laptop is open, multiple tabs of my bank and credit card dashboards ready. I can see Lily's name pop up with each new purchase room service, spa upgrades, who knows what else. Just after 9:30, I hear Felicity rush downstairs. I peek out to see her in a slinky dress that's at least one size too small, phone clutched in her hand. She glances at the empty living room mirror, smoothing her hair. "Mom's already there," she murmurs to herself. "I'll meet you soon, Cade." She steps out, letting the door click shut behind her, not bothering to see if I'm around. Once again, the quiet in the house feels heavy and accusatory, as if asking me, "You're just going to let them do this?" "Yes," I answer silently, because I have a plan. Minutes later, the first charges appear on my credit card portal. A luxury upgrade at the hotel followed by an expensive in-room dining tab. My fists clench at the thought of them toasting my gullibility, but I maintain composure. I document every line item, saving the digital receipts. Around 10 p.m., another humiliating post from Felicity surfaces. Lily, in a plush hotel robe, perched on a settee, a plate of chocolate-covered strawberries on her lap. The caption, "A night to remember some people are too old-fashioned to keep up. No apologies." I save that post too, adding it to the trove of evidence I've amassed. My phone buzzes with an incoming text from an unknown number. "Hey man, just want you to know Lily's in good hands. K." I stare at it, reading the mocking undertone. Cade must have gotten my number from Lily or Felicity. The arrogance leaves me speechless for a moment. Finally, I type a single response. "Enjoy yourselves. No more, no less." I want them comfortable, overconfident. Let them think I'm too spineless to fight back. By midnight, Felicity has posted half a dozen updates. Lily is apparently reveling in the hotel's spa, indulging in champagne. The total on my credit card creeps higher with each refresh. The tension and fury coil in my chest, but I cling to Owen's advice. Gather proof. Stay calm. When I can't stand to look at more photos, I step outside onto the back patio. The suburban night is quiet, an ironic contrast to the spectacle Lily and Felicity are putting on. Under the faint glow of porch lights, I check my messages. My private plan is set in motion. I have discreetly arranged to speak with an investigator. I'm going to need some professional help if they keep escalating like this. Returning inside, I see another push notification. An even bigger hotel charge, likely an upgraded suite or an expensive room service tab. I imagine Lily and Cade congratulating themselves, clinking champagne flutes to my supposed powerlessness. Felicity, snapping 1,000 photos to broadcast my humiliation. I tap out a quick message to Owen. "They're at the Skyline tonight. Using my card, as expected. I have screenshots." He responds, "Document everything. Let's talk first thing Monday." The final hour before I turn in is a blur of credit card alerts. As I gather the information, a cold determination grips me. This is it, the biggest, boldest betrayal so far. They're telling me publicly that Lily belongs to Cade now and Felicity's right behind them, cheering on the affair. But they have no idea how carefully I've been tracking every move, every transaction, every social media boast. They believe I'm too old-fashioned, too boring, too controlled to do anything but sulk. They're confident I won't risk the embarrassment of exposing them. Just before 1 a.m., I send one last text to Owen. A single line that cements my resolve. Proceed with step 1. I'm ready. Setting the phone down, I power off my laptop. In the hush of the dimly lit study, I feel a twinge of sadness, mingled with an undercurrent of grim satisfaction. I never wanted to reach this point, watching my wife indulge in another man's affections, spurred on by my own daughter. But they've forced my hand. Yes, I think, turning off the desk lamp. Their betrayal is complete. Now it's my turn. I wake earlier than usual, mind buzzing with half-formed plans. It's a Monday, a work day, but today my real job is something I never expected, orchestrating the takedown of my own wife and daughter. A part of me still balks at that phrase, my daughter, yet every time I recall Felicity's triumphant smirk alongside Lily's brazen affair, I remind myself there's no place for hesitation. Downstairs, the kitchen is silent. No sign of Lily or Felicity. My stomach twists as I see 2 empty coffee mugs in the sink, probably from them rushing out to meet Cade at the gym. I pour my own cup and sip slowly, replaying the steps I planned the night before. Freeze the joint accounts, or at least redirect funds so Lily can't drain me dry without warning. Cancel credit cards or lower the limits. Engage a private investigator to confirm everything I suspect and gather legally solid evidence. I've already done some of this in small increments, closing certain accounts, transferring funds, but I need a full sweep to protect my business assets, investments, and savings. Lily's extravagance has escalated, and with Felicity egging her on, there's no telling how far they'll go. At 9 sharp, I arrive at Owen Merrick's law office. Located in a subdued brick building downtown, it's easy to miss if you're not looking. That's exactly why I chose it discreet. Owen greets me with a firm handshake and a cordial, "Morning, Garrett. Ready to move forward?" We settle into a small conference room. I place a folder of printouts, screenshots, and bank statements on the table. Owen looks over them, nodding at intervals. He's meticulous, flipping pages slowly, occasionally jotting notes. "You've done a lot of legwork on your own," he observes, glancing up. "This will save us time." "I wanted everything ready," I say, trying to keep my voice steady. "After the last hotel stunt, I just can't let this continue." Owen taps a particular line on a bank statement. "This is the second suite they charged on your card in less than 2 weeks, right?" My jaw tightens. "Yes, and each time Felicity posts pictures on social media bragging about it." A sympathetic flicker crosses his face. "I see. Well, from a legal standpoint, the more blatant, the better it is for you. It confirms the funds are being used to support Lily's affair, which can factor heavily in divorce proceedings and potential fraud claims." The word divorce hits me with a pang. I look down at my hands, recalling the day Lily and I first walked into a lawyer's office years ago to finalize paperwork on our dream home. Now we're finalizing the death of our marriage. "I never thought we'd end up here," I murmur. Owen offers a diplomatic nod. "Unfortunately, these things can escalate quickly, but we'll handle this step by step. For now, I recommend freezing any joint accounts, especially those Lily or Felicity might use for new charges. Your personal business accounts move them entirely out of Lily's reach." I exhale. "I started that process. Called the bank last week about the line of credit she's been tapping. They said they'd require a signed affidavit if I claim the charges are unauthorized." "We can draft that," Owen says. "Also, consider changing the authorized users on your credit cards. Remove Lily and Felicity. It might provoke them, though." I half smile, humorless. They're already provoked. Maybe it's time they face the consequences. He closes the folder and meets my gaze. "Agreed. About the private investigator, how soon do you want to bring him in?" I pause, remembering the quiet humiliation I felt tracking Lily's every purchase. "As soon as possible. I want undeniable proof that Lily's not just experimenting, but actively conspiring with Cade and that Felicity is helping. I need them on record." Owen hands me a business card for a local investigator named Charlotte Decker. She's discreet and thorough. Have her gather photographic evidence, receipts, times, dates, anything showing Lily's liaisons. The more comprehensive, the better. I study the card, Charlotte's name in neat print. I'll contact her today. We spend another hour combing through possible angles. Marital misconduct, financial fraud, even emotional distress. Though I'm not out for petty vengeance, I do want a strong legal position. Lily has made it clear she'll push me aside financially if it suits her. And Felicity? She doesn't see me as her father anymore, only an obstacle. Before I leave, Owen lays out the final piece. The bank will request immediate justification for freezing accounts. We'll file a petition citing suspected fraud. Once that's in motion, Lily's card privileges will be suspended. She'll get a notification. I run a hand through my hair, the gravity setting in. They're going to explode when that happens. Owen shrugs mildly. Probably, but you can't wait until they deplete everything. Otherwise, you'll have no safety net. Stepping out of Owen's office, I feel a strange mixture of dread and resolve. What used to be my family is now an adversary, and I'm the one pulling the legal strings behind the scenes. On my drive home, I call Charlotte Decker, the private investigator. Her voice is brisk, businesslike. "Mr. Townsend, Owen mentioned you. Let's meet tomorrow. You can provide me with the relevant details, addresses, phone numbers. I'll discreetly observe your wife's movements." I swallow, heart thudding as I merge onto the main road. All right, tomorrow morning works. Thanks. The day ends quietly at the house. Lily and Felicity remain elusive, some yoga class, probably. I stand in the living room gazing at our wedding photo on the mantel. Lily's eyes in that photo are bright, youthful, radiating hope. How did we morph into this twisted scenario? But heartbreak can't distract me now. I have to shield my assets, gather proof, and prepare for the inevitable blow-up once Lily discovers she's been cut off. Telling myself it's for my own good doesn't ease the sting of betrayal, but it does fuel my determination. That night, I tucked the folder from Owen into a locked desk drawer in my study. I renamed digital files on my laptop careful labels so no one can guess what they contain at a glance. My phone pings with another social media post from Felicity, a gym selfie featuring Lily and Cade, hashtagging some cringe line about new beginnings. My teeth clench as I save it. Evidence is evidence, no matter how petty. By the time I climb into bed, the guest bed again, I'm mentally exhausted. Yet for the first time in weeks, I feel like I have traction. This isn't aimless anger or silent despair. It's a plan, laid out step by step. A small voice in my head whispers that I'm about to cross a line, too, stepping beyond the role of wounded husband into something colder, more calculating. I let the thought settle, then close my eyes. If Lily and Felicity insisted on waging a campaign of public humiliation and financial drain, they should be prepared for the consequences, because I'm not going to be their silent victim anymore. The following morning, I meet Charlotte Decker at a modest cafe near the edge of town. She's in her early 40s, with warm brown eyes and a direct manner that puts me at ease despite the discomfort of the situation. Over coffee, I lay out the timeline how Lily's behavior shifted, Felicity's social media jabs, and Cade's infiltration into our life. I hand her a USB stick loaded with screenshots, video clips, and bank statements. She nods, occasionally tapping a small notebook. That's quite a bit. I'll cross-reference addresses, phone numbers, and typical patterns. Given their public presence, I don't think it'll be hard to track them. Your daughter's posts alone are practically a roadmap. I feel a pang of guilt at the mention of Felicity, but I push it aside. Yes, she's made it easy. They don't seem interested in hiding anything, at least not from me. Charlotte sips her coffee. People in affairs often get brazen when they assume the spouse won't fight back. So, step 1. I'll confirm Lily's routine gym, shopping, possible rendezvous with Cade. Step 2. I'll take photographic or video evidence. Step 3. I'll compile a full report for your lawyer. Sound right? Exactly, I say. Owen said you're discreet? She offers a thin smile. Discretion is my specialty, Mr. Townsend. I won't appear at your door or follow them in a car with tinted windows. I have subtler methods. We finalize fees and timelines. As we shake hands to leave, she notes my hesitation. It's hard, isn't it? Hiring someone to spy on a loved one. My throat tightens. Yes, but it's the only way forward. She touches my shoulder gently. Then trust me. We'll get the truth documented. No more doubts. Walking back to my car, I feel oddly relieved. It's unsettling to think my wife and daughter will be tailed, but necessity overrides sentiment. If this is what it takes to expose them fully, so be it. That afternoon, I have a business lunch with an old friend, Travis Holloway, who's unaware of the drama unfolding in my personal life. We used to talk about everything: golf, investments, family, but I've been guarded lately. Over plates of steak and salad, Travis notices my tension. Garrett, you've barely touched your food. Everything okay? I weigh my response. Part of me wants to confide in him just to hear a normal human reaction. It's complicated. Things at home are rough. Lily and Felicity have, changed. Travis arches a brow. Changed how? I sigh, setting my fork down. Let's just say Lily found a new hobby that excludes me. Felicity's encouraging it. It's gone from a small rift to full-blown hostility. He sets his glass aside, empathy flickering across his features. Man, I'm sorry. I had no idea. If you ever need to talk, I swallow, forcing a nod. I appreciate it. Maybe I will once I get a handle on things. He hesitates, then leans in. I don't want to pry, but just remember you're not alone. You've been there for me in tough times. Let me return the favor. That small show of solidarity nearly undoes me. But I keep my composure, patting his shoulder as we wrap up lunch. Thanks, Travis. I'll be in touch. On my drive home, I wonder if I should have told him the whole truth. But the thought of exposing Lily's affair, Felicity's betrayals, it feels humiliating. I push it aside and focus on the next step, meeting with Detective Camille Ridley. At 3 o'clock, I'm inside a quiet police precinct office, led by an officer to a plain interview room. Detective Ridley enters a tall, composed woman with sharp eyes. She shakes my hand firmly. Mr. Townsend, she begins, I got Owen Merrick's message. Said you suspect your wife and her accomplice of possible financial wrongdoing? I nod, sliding another folder across the table. She's using my credit cards without permission to finance an affair. There might be more to it, like a pattern or scam with this Cade Harrington. The spending is skyrocketing, and it's definitely not for me. She flips through receipts and statements. Interesting. Have you seen any direct evidence of Cade or your daughter forging your signature or creating unauthorized accounts? Not forging exactly, I explain, but Lily used our joint credit cards after I told her to stop. Felicity also posts publicly about Dad's money paying for everything. I think there's more, but I need official channels to investigate. If Cade's doing this to other families, it might be a pattern. Detective Ridley sets the folder aside. We can run a check on Mr. Harrington, any prior complaints or charges. But to build a case, we'll need more than just high bills. Have your lawyer prepare a statement. If there's evidence of them opening lines of credit in your name or forging documents that leans into fraud territory. I'm working on it, I say firmly. My investigator's on the trail. I just wanted you to know there's potential criminal activity here, not just an ugly marital dispute. She offers a tight smile. Understood. Keep me updated, and if you find anything that clearly indicates criminal behavior like forging checks, hacking accounts, contact me immediately. I thank her and leave, heart pounding from the tension. My life has become an entangled mesh of attorneys, detectives, and investigators, all because the two people closest to me decided I wasn't good enough. That evening, I return home to an unexpected silence again. Lily's car is in the driveway, but inside the lights are off. I find her in the living room, scrolling her phone. She doesn't look up. Hey, I say, setting my keys on the table. She lifts an eyebrow. You were out late. Meeting someone? I note the irony of her question. Work stuff. She stands abruptly. Well, I'm going to bed. Early day tomorrow with Cade. Just like that, she's gone upstairs. I stand there, fists clenching. The knowledge that I've started my own covert operation doesn't lighten the sting of her open disregard. I check my phone to see if Charlotte texted any updates. Sure enough, got preliminary leads. Lily visited high-end boutiques with Cade this afternoon. We'll confirm details in written report. My breath catches. More charges, more gall. Lily and Cade must think my wallet is bottomless. Let them. The bigger they play, the harder they'll fall when the time comes. For the first time in weeks, I go to bed in a calmer frame of mind. I have a plan. I have allies, Owen, Charlotte, maybe even Detective Ridley if it comes to that. Lily and Felicity are riding a wave of arrogance. Soon enough, they'll crash against the reality I'm constructing behind the scenes. A crisp Tuesday morning arrives with an undercurrent of excitement. My phone vibrates repeatedly at breakfast, a string of email alerts from the bank. Suspicious activity is the subject line. Perfect. This is the next phase of my plan. Letting Lily and Felicity step right into the traps Owen and I set up. I'm about to open one of the emails when Felicity breezes into the kitchen, rummaging for cereal. Her phone is glued to her hand, as always. She spares me a cursory glance. Where's Mom? I ask, pouring coffee. She left early to see Cade at the gym, Felicity mutters, then taps away at her phone. I'll meet them later for lunch, though. Something about needing new outfits for a trainer event. I arch an eyebrow. Trainer event? So you and your mom are paying for that, how? She rolls her eyes. Seriously, Dad? Stop grilling me. We'll just use the card. Cade says it'll be a small expense. I fight the urge to snap. You don't think you're spending enough already? Felicity smirks, spooning cereal into her mouth. We're not bankrupt, are we? Relax. It's not like you're using the money for anything else. My chest tightens with anger, but I force an indifferent shrug. All right. Keep me posted. She shoots me a suspicious look and leaves the kitchen. The moment she's gone, I open the bank emails on my phone. A wave of grim satisfaction washes over me as I read, Transaction declined. Suspicious pattern recognized. Joint account is temporarily frozen pending client verification. Exactly what Owen and I intended. We set up threshold alerts so the moment they attempt extravagant charges, the system flags it. This not only irritates them, but also creates a paper trail of attempted misuse. Later at my office, I gather more records. Each time Lily or Felicity tries a large purchase, I get an immediate notification. They're systematically stepping into each freeze we placed on the accounts. The smaller charges go through just enough to keep them oblivious, but the big ones spark technical issues. Around noon, I call Charlotte for an update. She picks up promptly. Mr. Townsend. I followed Lily to a boutique this morning. She attempted to buy a high-end dress and shoes, total over $1,000. Her card was declined. I can practically see Lily's face turning red with embarrassment. How'd she react? I ask, trying not to sound too triumphant. Upset, but she blamed it on a bank glitch. Felicity kept fiddling with her phone, presumably trying another card. Same result. They left empty-handed, but not before Lily texted someone, I assume Cade, complaining about the inconvenience. I smother a small laugh. Good. Keep documenting everything. Let me know if they switch tactics. You got it, Charlotte says. By the way, I noticed Felicity filming Lily's reaction on her phone. Probably something for social media. My stomach churns. They're so used to turning every moment into content. Little do they know, their own footage might help me prove their intent. Thanks, Charlotte, I say, then hang up. Spurred by this success, I finalize more bait. Owen and I decided to let smaller transactions slip through so Lily and Felicity think they can still get away with short bursts of spending coffee shops, modest online orders, gym membership renewals. The bank is on alert, so if anything goes beyond a certain threshold, it triggers the freeze and logs the attempt as suspicious. That evening, I return home to an unspoken tension that feels thick enough to cut with a knife. Lily paces in the living room, phone clutched in her hand. Felicity sits on the couch, arms folded, scrolling furiously. The moment I walk in, Lily rounds on me. Garrett, something's wrong with the bank. My card got declined at the boutique, and Felicity's did too. Feigning mild surprise, I set down my briefcase. Weird. Did you call them? Lily's eyes blaze. Yes, and they gave me a runaround about suspicious charges. I told them I had permission to use the card, my name's on the account. Felicity jumps in, voice dripping with contempt. Are you messing with us, Dad? Is this some pathetic attempt to control our spending? I keep my expression neutral. You both have been spending quite a bit lately. Maybe the bank system is just flagging it. Lily advances, phone in hand. Cut the act. I know you changed something. Don't insult my intelligence. This is humiliating, getting my card declined in public. I hold her gaze, heart pounding but face calm. Funny, I find it humiliating to see my name plastered all over social media as a boring husband who funds your new lifestyle. Yet you didn't seem concerned about my feelings. Her cheeks flush, but she remains defiant. Felicity glares at me. So this is revenge? You want us to beg for permission every time we buy something? I shake my head, schooling my voice to remain level. All I want is accountability. If you want expensive things, you discuss it with me first. I'm not a bottomless pit. Lily looks ready to scream but clenches her jaw, presumably to keep her composure. Fine, she says, turning on her heel. Cade's paying for dinner anyway. She storms out, Felicity following closely behind. I catch the tail end of Felicity's sneer. Seriously, Mom, I told you he'd pull something like this. The door slams. Alone again, I exhale shakily. The confrontation was inevitable, but I played it off with plausible deniability. Just an innocent husband who doesn't know why the bank flagged their spree. The seeds of frustration and confusion are clearly sown in Lily and Felicity. After dinner, I retreat to my study to review the notifications from the day. Every failed attempt they made, every small success, it's all documented. Each freeze is another stepping stone on the path to exposing them. Emotional flashbacks pepper my mind. I recall the first time Lily and I opened a joint account back when we were newlyweds, excitedly merging finances to build our future. The memory is almost painful now, overshadowed by how she and Felicity treat me like an obstacle. But that sting reminds me why I'm doing this. At nearly midnight, my phone lights up with a text from Charlotte. Spotted Lily and Felicity dining with Cade at Delmont's Steakhouse. Bill well over $500. Lily tried 2 cards, both declined. Cade ended up paying. They didn't look pleased. I almost laugh at the mental image. Cade forced to pick up the check he likely can't afford. That's precisely the scenario I want them in, scrambling, uncertain. Forced to reveal how little real wealth they have. I type back, "Great work, keep me posted." Before bed, I stand at the window in the guest room staring into the dimly lit street. This isn't how I ever imagined fighting for my own marriage, but Lily's not leaving me any choice. Each freeze, each declined transaction is one more piece of evidence that they're exploiting me. Soon, I'll have enough to pull the final trigger. And then we'll see who's left standing. By midweek, Lily and Felicity's frustration has reached a boiling point, and I can sense the storm about to break. Ironically, they're the ones planning a new lavish night, this time for some charity gala Kate invited them to attend. A perfect opportunity for me to set the final trap. I discover their plan through Felicity's social media. She tags Lily in a post about rocking the gala in style. When Charlotte texts me the same evening, confirming they're shopping for formal attire, I know the moment is near. Once again, I coordinate with Owen to ensure all the evidence is in place. Detective Ridley might be interested, Owen says, voice steady over the phone. If Cade is scamming multiple women, he might use events like these to lure wealthy clients. We can't prove that yet, I reply, flipping through receipts. But let's have Charlotte ready to record if they mention anything incriminating. Felicity's live updates could be gold for us. That night, the house is quiet until Lily and Felicity return from a spa session, judging by the strong scent of lavender and the fresh manicures. Both are dressed in sleek evening gowns, heads held high. They barely greet me, but I watch from the living room as they fuss over last-minute details. Cade's picking us up in an hour, Lily announces. Her voice echoes off the vaulted ceiling, aimed at no one in particular, probably me, though she doesn't look my way. Felicity's reflection in the hallway mirror reveals a sly grin. She hums while adjusting an expensive necklace that I certainly never authorized. My jaw clenches, but I say nothing, biding my time. Soon enough, Cade arrives in a rented luxury car. I peek through the blinds, heart pounding, as Lily and Felicity sashay out, greeting him with beaming smiles. The three of them talk animatedly on the front porch for a moment. Cade glances at our house with a mixture of contempt and arrogance. Or maybe I'm just projecting. They drive off, no doubt confident they'll outdo themselves this evening. I wait 5 minutes, slip on a jacket, and quietly leave as well. Charlotte is already staked out near the hotel venue. I text her en route. On my way. Make sure you're rolling if anything big happens. She replies promptly, understood. They just arrived. Lily is at registration. Felicity and Cade at the bar. I'll keep my distance but get footage. I park a few blocks away, not wanting to attract attention. Though I'm no private investigator, a part of me wants to witness their brazen disregard firsthand. Adrenaline surges as I walk into the hotel's grand lobby, scanning the crowd of tuxedos and evening gowns. A silent vow pulses in my mind. This ends tonight. From behind a tall floral arrangement, I spot Lily, Felicity, and Cade near the silent auction area. Cade looks right at home, charming a small circle of donors with compliments. Lily laughs, tossing her hair over her shoulder, brandishing a flute of champagne. Felicity scrolls on her phone, presumably uploading pictures to her story. I slip into the corridor where Charlotte stands, camera discreetly hidden in her purse. She nods in greeting. They've been bragging about their lifestyle, dropping mentions of your bankrolling. She lifts a brow. It's all on record. My heart hammers. Good. Keep filming if they talk about finances or how they're getting money. Also, if Cade mentions any other clients could be crucial. She pats her purse. Don't worry, I've got you. I retreat into the shadows, heart in my throat. The night drags, feeling surreal like I'm an uninvited observer at my wife's glamorous new life. The difference is, this time, I'm not powerless. Around 10, the guests move to a grand ballroom for dinner. I catch glimpses of Lily and Felicity mingling, Cade trailing behind. At one point, Felicity appears to show Lily something on her phone, both wearing triumphant smirks. I suspect they're checking the credit card for the purchase of a pricey table or high-end wine. Perfect for my plan. An hour later, Charlotte signals me from the hallway. She's texting rapidly. They tried to add some extravagant items at the auction total well over the limit. They're going to pay at checkout next door. My pulse quickens. This is it, the final lavish night I needed to confirm the pattern. I hurry to the side entrance of the adjoining lounge, where the silent auction payments are processed. Sure enough, Lily, Felicity, and Cade stand at a small counter, confusion etched on their faces. From my hiding spot, I hear fragments of conversation. Declined? That's impossible. Lily's voice is sharp, outraged. Mom, try the other card, Felicity urges, leaning over the counter. I did both of them, actually, Lily fires back, glaring at the bewildered event staffer. Your system must be faulty. Cade steps in, trying to smooth it over. Don't worry, ladies, we can fix this. He withdraws his own card. The staffer slides it. A long pause. The staffer shakes her head. Another decline. I clench my teeth, half wanting to burst out in laughter. Cade's wealth is as fake as I suspected. The staffer frowns politely. I'm sorry, Mr. Harrington, but the transaction won't go through. Do you have another method of payment? Lily looks mortified, her face reddening. Felicity stands there, jaw slack. For a moment, I see Charlotte's small camera flash from behind a potted plant. She's capturing it all. A rising argument ensues, Lily demanding to speak to a manager, Felicity whining about how humiliating this is, Cade trying to maintain an air of confidence but clearly unraveling. The more they protest, the more attention they draw, other guests glancing curiously. It's the perfect storm. Public embarrassment, failed finances, no immediate solution. My phone buzzes in my pocket, Owen's text. All set. We can proceed with the final step as soon as you confirm. Swallowing the lump in my throat, I type back, do it. In that instant, I feel a rush of adrenaline. So many emotions swirl: anger, sadness, a twisted sense of justice. Lily, Felicity, and Cade have orchestrated my humiliation for weeks, but now they're the ones flailing, undone by their own greed. Just then, Lily spots me in the crowd. Our eyes lock across the room. Her face contorts with shock and fury, realization dawning. She starts to move toward me, but I pivot, slipping away before she can speak. Charlotte falls in step beside me, discreetly tucking her camera away. Outside in the cool night air, I finally allow myself a bitter smile. That's it, I murmur, glancing at Charlotte. She nods. I got everything on film, perfect proof they tried to charge expensive items without your consent. A tremor runs through me as I recall the final lines of the text from Owen initiating divorce and fraud charges. This is the moment. The hammer has fallen. Charlotte sets a reassuring hand on my arm. You did what you had to, Mr. Townsend. I exhale. Now it's in motion. No going back. We part ways, and I stride down the hotel steps, leaving Lily, Felicity, and Cade to stew in their public humiliation. My phone pings again, a fresh credit card alert. Another attempted purchase, declined. A swirl of heartbreak and vindication washes over me. They forced my hand, I tell myself, heading to my car, and I just played it. The morning after Lily, Felicity, and Cade's failed gala excursion, my phone lights up with a flurry of bank notifications. Rows of attempted charges populate the screen: hotel suites, boutique purchases, high-end dinners. Each shows the same status: declined. I lean back in my chair at the home office, sipping coffee. Sunlight streams through the blinds in gentle stripes, a stark contrast to the turbulence I feel inside. This is the first day I've truly cut them off, with Owen's legal wizardry ensuring every shared line of credit is frozen. It's surreal, part triumph, part regret. I wanted our family to be strong, not fractured, but there's no turning back. A shrill ring jolts me out of my thoughts. My phone displays Lily's name. I steel myself, letting it buzz twice before picking up. Hello? Her voice crackles with anger. Garrett, what did you do? I can't use any of our credit cards, neither can Felicity. I feign polite confusion. I'm not sure what you're talking about, Lily. Maybe the bank flagged suspicious spending. Don't patronize me, she snaps. We tried to pay for dinner last night, and everything was declined. I had to beg Cade to cover it, and his card barely went through. A surge of satisfaction flares. Well, maybe it's a sign that you've overspent. Banks do that sometimes when accounts hit unusual limits. She exhales, frustration crackling through the line. Stop lying. I know you did this out of spite. We had an important dinner meeting with potential clients for Cade's business. You humiliated us. I clamp down on my real emotions, forcing a calm monotone. I recall a fair amount of humiliation on your part, too, like the social media posts mocking me or those extravagant charges you never cleared with me. Lily falls silent, just heavy breathing. Then she says, How could you stoop this low? You're punishing Felicity and me because we wanted a different lifestyle. A bitter laugh escapes me before I can stop it. Punishing? Hardly. I'm just refusing to let you run my finances into the ground. If you and Cade want to live big, pay with your own money. She sputters, probably too enraged to form a coherent reply. At last she hisses, "Fine," and hangs up. I set the phone down, heart hammering. The aftermath of this conversation of all these declined charges is only beginning. Minutes later, text messages from Felicity start flooding in, each dripping with anger. "You're so petty, Dad." "Mom's crying. How dare you?" "Cade says you'll regret this." I ignore them all, dragging each into a folder labeled evidence. This is exactly what Owen and I anticipated. Immediate shock and rage from Lily and Felicity, plus idle threats from Cade. They're learning the hard way that I won't be their ATM anymore. Around noon, I drive downtown for a work lunch, determined to maintain some semblance of normalcy. My colleague, Travis, meets me at a corner bistro. Over salads, he notices my tense posture. "You all right, Garrett? You look like you're expecting a brawl." I manage a half smile. "Family drama. Let's just say I've cut off some funds, and it's not going over well." He nods sympathetically. "If you need a break or even some time off, the firm will understand." I appreciate the offer, but I shake my head. Work's the only thing keeping me sane right now. We chat briefly about upcoming projects, then part ways. I notice my phone flashing again, another call from Lily. This time I let it go to voicemail. My emotional bandwidth is tapped out. Late afternoon finds me in my quiet home office, collecting fresh notifications. Luxury shoe store, declined. High-end spa, declined. Restaurant reservation deposit, declined. They're relentless. Each attempt is like a small explosion in Lily's carefully constructed world. I picture her standing at some boutique counter, flustered and furious, while Felicity hovers and Cade fumbles. It's a twisted satisfaction, but satisfaction nonetheless. Then my phone rings again. A strange number. I answer warily. "Garrett Townsend." A familiar voice, deep and mocking, rumbles through. "Hey, man, Cade here." I stiffen. "How'd you get my number?" He laughs, a sound that sets my teeth on edge. "Felicity gave it to me. She thought we should clear the air. Mind if I speak candidly?" My grip tightens on the phone. "Go ahead." "I get it. You're trying to make a point, freezing Lily's accounts. But it's petty. She's unhappy with you, you know, and punishing her finances won't fix that." I grit my teeth, forcing a civil tone. "Her happiness isn't my responsibility anymore, especially if it involves draining my resources." "Come on, man," Cade scoffs. "We both know you have money. Don't be so insecure. Lily deserves better than you nickel-and-diming her." A hot flush of anger surges through me. "You have no idea what Lily and Felicity deserve. Enjoy paying for your next dinner if your card can handle it." He growls softly. "You'll regret this, Townsend. Lily's too good for you, and Felicity's done with you. You're just fueling the fire." I let out a slow breath. "Actions have consequences, Harrington. Remember that?" Silence, then a bark of laughter. "You're out of your league. Good luck with your crusade." He hangs up. My hands shake as I set down the phone. Cade's words ring in my head, "out of your league." Hardly. If anything, he's about to see exactly how determined I am. Evening comes and the house is eerily quiet. Lily doesn't return. Felicity does, briefly, stomping upstairs without a word. Through my closed study door, I hear her rummaging, probably grabbing some clothes. Then the front door slams. They've both chosen to stay out, maybe at a friend's or even Cade's place. In the silence, I replay the conversation with Lily earlier and Cade's taunts. My heart aches at how far we've fallen, but I remain resolute. The switch is flipped, the finances locked, and the real shock waves have only begun. This is the price of their betrayal, and I, for once, am not footing the bill. 3 days later, I'm in my study, flicking through an ever-expanding folder of evidence. The logs of declined transactions read like a comedic script: gym expansions, spa visits, 5-star hotel reservations. Lily and Felicity have tried them all, each time hitting a financial brick wall. A text pings from Owen. "Detective Ridley will be at the Regent Hotel tonight. They got a tip about potential credit card fraud. Lily and Cade might be there. Heads up." I respond with a simple, "Understood." My heart rate picks up. This is the moment we discussed where Lily and Cade cross a legal threshold. If they attempt to charge a suite or services in my name yet again, Detective Ridley can intervene. That evening, I keep a low profile. I remain home, phone in hand, waiting for updates. Sure enough, around 9 p.m., a series of bank alerts pop up. Regent Hotel Suite, $900 declined in-room amenities, $200 declined. I sigh, imagining Lily's face as the hotel staff shakes their head. Cade likely tries his card next. If he's strapped for funds, they're in for a rude awakening. Then another text from Owen. Ridley is on site. She just called. They're confronting Lily and Cade about unauthorized usage. Felicity is there too. Stand by. I pace the living room, adrenaline coursing. The clock ticks painfully slow. Finally, about half an hour later, my phone rings Owen's number. "Garrett," he says, voice clear. "It's happening. Detective Ridley got a call from the hotel manager. Lily and Felicity tried to argue that they had permission to use your account. The staff called the police to verify." My stomach clenches. And Cade jumped in, claiming it was a family matter. "But Ridley has your statements on file, plus the recent logs of contested charges. It's enough to question them further." I wipe a palm across my forehead. "So, are Lily and Felicity?" "They're not arrested on the spot," he clarifies, "but they're being questioned. From what Ridley says, it's causing quite the scene in the hotel lobby. A small crowd's gathering, filming on their phones. A wave of conflicting emotions hits me. Sorrow that Lily's meltdown is public, relief that my plan is working, and a pang of guilt at Felicity's involvement. What about Cade? Owen's tone hardens. He's yelling about defamation, says he's Lily's partner, insisting the charges were authorized. But you and I know that's a lie. Through the phone, I hear background noise murmurs, maybe police radios. Then Owen lowers his voice. "It's all on record. The manager recognized Felicity from local social media, apparently. She's broadcast so many posts that there's no denying they bragged about your money." I close my eyes. The image of Lily and Felicity under bright lobby lights, flanked by uniformed officers, hovers in my mind. This is the public exposure I dreaded yet orchestrated. "All right, so what do I do next?" "Nothing," Owen advises. "Stay put. Ridley will file a report tonight. She wants to talk to you tomorrow for an official statement. That's it." I thank him and hang up, heart still pounding. In the silence, I try to imagine Lily's perspective. She left me for Cade, parading her new lifestyle on social media, only to end up in a humiliating confrontation with the law. As for Felicity, who thrives on social media attention, she's about to become the star of a scandal she helped create. The next morning, I wake to a barrage of notifications. Texts from neighbors who saw videos of the incident, calls from acquaintances asking if I'm okay, and a handful of messages from unknown numbers with links to a short clip. Against my better judgment, I tap on one link. It's a shaky phone video posted on a local forum, showing Lily standing in the Regent Hotel lobby, flanked by 2 officers. She's dressed in a classy black outfit, but looks disheveled, her voice raised. "I have every right to use that card. My husband is just being vindictive." Meanwhile, Felicity stands off to the side, phone in hand, tear tracks on her cheeks. Cade hovers near them, jabbing a finger at the officer's clipboard. The clip ends with an off-screen voice muttering, "That's Garrett Townsend's wife, right?" And someone else replying, "I heard she's with that trainer now." The wave of secondhand embarrassment is almost too much. I forward the link to Owen for documentation. Then I sit on the couch, phone clutched in my hand, trying to quell the churn in my gut. By afternoon, Lily's meltdown is the talk of local gossip. Old acquaintances text me, half curious, half sympathetic. A coworker calls, genuinely concerned. "Garrett, I saw something on social media. Is your wife in trouble?" he asks gently. I keep my response vague. "Just a misunderstanding at a hotel. The authorities have it under control." When Lily finally calls, I hesitate, then pick up. Her voice is raw with anger and something else, fear maybe. "You ruined us!" she cries. "You let them treat me like a criminal in public." I inhale slowly. "I warned you that there would be consequences, Lily. You kept pushing. You and Felicity both. Now the police want answers about unauthorized charges. That's not my fault." Her tone wavers. "Cade says we'll sue you for defamation, that you orchestrated this whole thing." A bitter chuckle escapes me. "Defamation? Hard to defame someone who's publicly bragged about spending my money for months. You posted it all yourselves." She lapses into silence, then ends the call abruptly. It's painfully clear that she doesn't have a plan, aside from trying to manipulate me yet again. But this time I'm not capitulating. I remain in my living room, phone on the coffee table, remembering how just months ago Lily would call me from a boutique, excited about some new design piece. Now the phone is a weapon hers used for public humiliation, mine used to freeze accounts and gather evidence. We've devolved from spouses to adversaries in the blink of an eye, and there's no coming back. Within days of the hotel fiasco, Detective Ridley schedules a formal meeting with me and Owen at the precinct. The building is all fluorescent lights and polished floors, the air thick with institutional quiet. Ridley greets me in a small interview room, offering a curt nod. "Mr. Townsend, thanks for coming in. We've reviewed your statements, plus the digital evidence your lawyer provided." Owen and I sit across from her, a battered metal table between us. I feel oddly self-conscious, as though I'm the one under investigation. But I remind myself, they committed the wrongdoing, not me. Ridley flips through a stack of documents. "Your wife and daughter, Lily and Felicity Townsend, have been flagged for repeated attempts at unauthorized credit card usage. Combined with witness accounts from multiple establishments, it suggests a pattern." A knot forms in my stomach. "They'll be charged?" Ridley nods. "Potentially. It depends on the DA's decision. But yes, there's enough evidence to suggest they knowingly used your funds without valid permission. Then there's Cade Harrington. He's been linked to similar complaints from other individuals." I glance at Owen, who gives me a silent signal to remain calm. "So Cade scammed other families?" I ask quietly. Ridley's eyes flick up. "We suspect so, but your case is the strongest thus far. Typically, these matters get settled in civil court, but we're also looking at possible criminal charges if we prove a conspiracy where Lily and Felicity actively assisted Cade's scheme to siphon money. The magnitude of it all settles on me like a physical weight. My wife and daughter, conspirators in a potential fraud ring. The sorrow that grips me is almost unbearable, but I steel myself. "Is there anything else I need to do?" She hands me a form. "Just sign your formal statement verifying that you never authorized these charges. We'll keep you updated on the prosecutor's decision." I sign, my pen scratching across the page. Each stroke feels like a blow to the memory of the family we once were. But I remind myself, they made their choices. Outside the precinct, Owen places a reassuring hand on my shoulder. "You're doing the right thing, Garrett. This isn't about revenge anymore. It's about protecting yourself from massive financial damage." I let out a shuddering breath. "I know. It still hurts." He nods grimly. "The next step is likely a combination of civil lawsuits, hotel chains, boutiques, maybe even personal victims. Cade, Lily, and Felicity could face those charges together." That evening, I return home to find a quiet, half-lit house. Lily's car is gone. Felicity's too. In the kitchen, I spot a small slip of paper on the countertop. A note. "Dad, Mom says Cade got arrested today on some fraud nonsense. She's with him at the station. We're lawyering up. You'll regret this. F." My hand trembles. So it's real. Cade's been arrested, possibly on charges linked to his pattern of targeting wealthy married women. If the hotels or other victims pressed charges, the police must have had enough evidence to move quickly. In the midst of that swirl, an unexpected pang of pity cuts through me. Lily tied her wagon to Cade's so-called empire, only for it to crumble beneath her, and Felicity helped every step of the way, both of them refusing to believe there could be consequences. I walk upstairs, rummaging through old photographs in a seldom-opened drawer. There's a picture of Lily on our wedding day, smiling bright and genuine. Another of a toddler Felicity perched on my shoulders, giggling uncontrollably. My throat tightens at how innocent we all once were. A text from Owen pulls me out of my reverie. Cade was booked. Lily and Felicity accompanied him to the station but weren't arrested themselves. However, the DA is reviewing your evidence for possible accomplice charges. Yes, it's all happening so fast. Lily must be panicking. Felicity, too. I can only imagine Cade's reaction, raging at them for not having access to my money anymore. My phone buzzes again this time, a call from an unknown number. Against my better judgment, I answer. "Hello?" A tense female voice. "Dad?" It's Felicity. I clench the phone tighter. Yes, Felicity? She breathes shakily. Cade's in a jail cell. Mom's freaking out. She says you're behind all this, that you told the police to come after us. Are we going to get arrested too? Her fear radiates through every syllable, and a strange mix of heartbreak and anger stirs in me. Felicity, you both knowingly charged my accounts for months. You boasted about it on social media. This was inevitable. She sniffles. But we didn't think it was that serious. Cade said it was normal, that you'd never press charges, that you wouldn't dare. Cade was wrong, I say flatly. And so were you. Actions have consequences, especially when you cross legal lines. A short pause, then Felicity's voice quivers. Mom says she hates you for doing this. We might lose everything. My jaw tenses. You chose to destroy our family life for Cade's fantasies. This is on you, Felicity, not me. She tries to speak, but her voice cracks, and the line goes dead. I stand there, phone in hand, chest aching. My daughter, once the bright-eyed kid who looked up to me, now stands on the opposite side of a legal battlefield. Sleep is elusive that night. I toss and turn, mind locked on Lily, Felicity, and Cade on the charges, the arrests, the swirl of negativity that's become my new normal. A part of me wonders if I should have just turned a blind eye. But the memory of their smug betrayal kills that thought. They would have bled me dry, mocking me the entire time. By the time dawn arrives, I'm exhausted but resolute. The phone bleeps with more updates from Owen. Cade's bail hearing is next week. The DA will be looking closely at Lily's and Felicity's roles. Prepare to file your divorce petition soon, once we confirm the criminal charges are set in motion. I rub my eyes, scanning each line carefully. The sense of finality sinks in. After so many months of build-up secret phone logs, screenshots, hidden receipts, this is the turning point. Cade's behind bars, Lily and Felicity face potential criminal and civil charges, and my marriage is effectively in tatters. Part of me mourns. Another part whispers that justice is rolling forward, unstoppable. Regardless, I remind myself that I won't be guilted into submission again. They demanded a war when they betrayed me so publicly, and now the system is taking over. Stepping onto the back porch, I watch the sunrise tinge the sky in soft orange. The air is crisp, a faint promise of a new season. In the distance, a bird chirps a simple sound that carries an odd comfort. Maybe I can still rebuild my life from these ashes once the dust settles. But for now, all I can do is brace myself for the next blow. A week passes in a chaotic blur. The press coverage of Cade's arrest intensifies, especially since rumors swirl about multiple women he's trained. My phone pings hourly with gossip or speculation. Lily and Felicity have gone eerily quiet on social media, presumably out of fear of further incriminating themselves. Meanwhile, Owen finalizes the divorce papers. He calls one afternoon with the last details. All set, Garrett. We'll serve Lily at her temporary address. Are you sure you want to do this now? I gaze at the half-empty living room. Sunlight glances off framed photos I haven't yet packed away. Yes, I murmur, throat tight. There's nothing left to salvage. Owen hums softly. All right, I'll notify you once service is complete. That evening, I receive a text from an unfamiliar local number. Papers just arrived. Mom's hysterical. Hope you're happy, Dad. F. I stare at that message for a long time. My chest aches, but I know it's the only way forward. Then, just past 9 o'clock, my phone rings Lily's number this time. I let it go to voicemail, but she calls again. By the third ring, I relent. Her voice is ragged, on the verge of tears. How could you serve me divorce papers, Garrett, especially now? A dozen retorts fight to escape, but I swallow them down. It was inevitable. You left this marriage the moment you started seeing Cade. She sniffles. That wasn't supposed to mean I lost everything. You're punishing me. You've got the police after me, now a divorce. Anger rises in me. Don't pretend I'm the one who ruined us. You humiliated me with your affair, spent my money on your new life, dragged our daughter into it. Her breathing is uneven, stifled sobs leaking through the line. Felicity's a mess. We're both stuck at this tiny rental, can't pay the bills because you cut us off. Cade can't help from behind bars. Why do this to your own family? A strange numbness settles over me. I did everything for my family. I tried to talk, tried to compromise. You two made it clear you'd rather be with Cade, flaunt an open marriage, and exploit my finances. So you can't blame me for protecting myself. She goes quiet for a moment, then a tremor breaks in her voice. I hate that it's come to this. I exhale slowly. So do I. But we can't undo what's been done. Her tone shifts abruptly, lashing out. Then at least help Felicity. She's young, she made mistakes. Don't let her sink with me. She might lose her college enrollment if all these rumors continue. A pang hits me memories of reading bedtime stories to Felicity, cheering at her high school graduation. But I remember the scorn in her eyes, the social media posts mocking me. She's an adult, Lily. She made her choice to side with you and Cade. I'm not bailing her out again. Lily snarls, heartless. Before I can respond, the line cuts out. I stare at the silent phone. The final words echo, heartless. That's what they see me as, a monster who turned on them. And maybe I am, in their eyes. But after months of lies, humiliation, and betrayal, I have no empathy left to give. The next morning, Owen calls to confirm Lily received the divorce summons. According to the process server, she was furious, threatened to sue you for emotional damages. I scoff. She's free to try. We have a mountain of evidence on her affair and misappropriation of funds. He chuckles dryly. Exactly. I doubt she'll get far. Just brace for more drama. She and Felicity might attempt to smear you, claim they're victims. I can handle that legally, but emotionally, well, you'll need to be strong. I thank him, ending the call with a heavy heart. The rest of the day passes in a haze, my thoughts drifting to old memories, birthdays, anniversaries, quiet mornings when Lily would hum in the kitchen, all overshadowed by the reality of our new war zone. Sure enough, Felicity calls that evening, voice pitched high. Dad, do you have any idea what people at my college are saying? They think I'm some con artist. I might lose my scholarship because of the scandal. A swirl of conflicting emotions, pity, anger, grief. I exhale, forcing my voice to remain steady. I told you from the start, Felicity, that your online bragging and alliance with Cade would have consequences. I warned you. She sniffs. Mom told me you only froze the accounts out of jealousy that you're trying to ruin Cade. I didn't think it would go this far. I bite back a bitter laugh. Your mother always twists things. She made this bed, you helped make it, now you both have to lie in it. A beat of silence, then Felicity's tone cracks. I'm scared, Dad. I wish we could rewind. My chest aches. I long to comfort her, but the memory of her mocking me online stabs that impulse. I do too, I say, voice subdued. But we can't. It's done. She doesn't reply. Eventually the call ends. I stand there, phone in hand, head heavy with sorrow. A father's instinct is to protect his child, yet I'm the one dealing the final blow by refusing to pay their way. But if I cave, I risk everything I've built, and I'd be condoning betrayal. In the kitchen, a sealed envelope from Owen rests on the table, the official divorce papers for me to sign and return. Inside is also a preliminary agreement about property division. Part of me wants to tear it up, cling to some faint hope of reconciliation. But I recall Lily's voice defiant, manipulative, even hateful, and Felicity's social media taunts, Cade's arrogance. Summoning resolve, I sign where required, shutting the door on any illusions that we can mend. The next morning, I mail the documents. Each signature a small step toward my new reality. It's official. Lily and I are done. Our marriage stands on the brink of legal dissolution, overshadowed by scandal and arrests. Cade is in a cell. Felicity is at Lily's side, both of them reaping the consequences of their actions. And me? I'm standing at the edge of a life I never asked for, but one I must fully embrace if I'm to survive. I send Owen a text, all signed, moving forward. He responds with a simple thumbs-up emoji, acknowledging the gravity of what we've set in motion. I close my eyes, leaning against the kitchen counter, letting the weight of it all press on me. Lily's words echo. You took everything from me, but I remember how they took everything from me first. My dignity, my trust, my sense of family. Now, at last, it's over. The final line is drawn. They can't step back across it without facing the fallout. and I, for once, can walk away from the wreckage, battered but not broken. The morning after Lily and Felicity received their charges, I drive through our once familiar neighborhood, noticing the subtle shift in how people respond to me. Neighbors who used to wave now give hesitant nods or avoid eye contact. It's not hostility, exactly more like they're unsure what to say. A friend from down the street, Brian Jennings, stands at his mailbox and stares as I pass. I slow, offering a polite wave, but he just nods stiffly, then turns back to his letters. When I reach home, I spot a glossy invitation tucked in my front door. It's for an upcoming charity event one Lily and I used to attend religiously. My chest tightens. I tear open the envelope out of habit, only to see that my name alone is listed. Lily's is absent. The hosts must have removed her after rumors of the scandal. Part of me feels relief I won't have to endure awkward chit-chat about, "Where's your wife?" Another part of me feels an unexpected pang of sorrow at how easily her name is erased. Inside, the house is quiet. Lily and Felicity have been staying at a small rental since I filed for divorce, so I'm alone with the echo of what used to be a bustling family life. I can almost hear Felicity's old laughter in the hallway, or picture Lily fussing with decor. Now, even the air seems stale. I brew a cup of coffee and check my phone. A message from Owen lights up the screen. Might want to check the local news outlets. Lily's affair fraud story is picking up traction. With a sinking heart, I open a news site. A headline blares, "Trainer's scam unravels, prominent family implicated." Scrolling down, I see a photo of Lily at one of her gym outings with Cade in the background. The piece outlines how Cade orchestrated financial exploitation with at least 2 other women, and how Lily and Felicity are now charged as accomplices. The article is light on details. My name is barely mentioned, but it's enough for locals to piece together who's who. Almost immediately, my phone pings with texts from acquaintances. "I had no idea things got this bad. Hang in there. So sorry, Garrett. If you need anything, let me know. Why didn't you stop them sooner?" That last message stings. Some blame me, as though it's my fault Lily and Felicity chose this path. With a sigh, I put the phone away, recalling how Lily once relished these same local news pages for society gossip. Now, she's the subject. Around lunchtime, I decide to see Travis Holloway, my colleague and occasional confidant. We grab a quick meal at a sandwich shop downtown. The place is busy, patrons bustling in and out, but I notice a few glances thrown my way. Travis picks up on it too, giving me a sympathetic look as we settle into a corner booth. "Rough day, huh?" he says, unwrapping his sandwich. I let out a breathy laugh. "You could say that. Looks like Lily and Felicity made front-page gossip. People are talking." He nods, chewing thoughtfully. "You can't control the chatter. Best thing is to live your life, do your job, and let the facts speak for themselves." Leaning back, I scan the shop. One man at a nearby table types furiously on his phone, stealing occasional glances at me. My skin prickles with discomfort. Feels like the entire town's poking around in my personal disaster. Travis sets his sandwich down, voice lowered in concern. "I'm sorry, Garrett. For what it's worth, some folks believe you had no choice. Others, they think it's gone too far." That phrase again, gone too far. As if I should have quietly let Lily and Felicity tear me apart. "It was never my choice for them to conspire with Cade," I say, bitterness creeping into my tone. "But yeah, it's a spectacle now." He sighs, patting my shoulder. "Time heals. People move on to the next scandal eventually." Our conversation drifts to work deadlines and smaller talk, a respite from the chaos. When we finish, I step outside, feeling the midday sun on my face. Travis parts with a supportive nod, and I realize how important these small shows of normalcy have become. Back home, I wander the living room, a handful of mail clutched in my hand. Bills, junk flyers, a letter from a Riverside boutique where Lily once spent thousands on clothes. The letter, addressed to me, states they are revoking Lily's membership and requesting any outstanding balances be settled. I skim the text, seeing polite but firm wording that references recent legal issues. The second page demands restitution for items allegedly purchased under questionable circumstances. A wave of weariness washes over me. Lily's old shopping haunts, once happy to cater to her expensive tastes, are now shutting her out. Felicity's favorite fashion retailers likely aren't far behind. This is the real-time fallout of their actions, doors slamming in their faces. To clear my head, I step outside into the warm afternoon, strolling the block. A neighbor, Mrs. Greenwood, waters her flower bed. She gives me a tight smile, then calls quietly, "If you need anything, dear, let me know." I offer a polite thanks, touched by her kindness. It's a reminder that not everyone condemns me. Nonetheless, as I keep walking, I spot another neighbor, Sarah Whitley, shooting me a disapproving look from her driveway. She was friendly with Lily, probably believes I overreacted. My chest tightens with discomfort, but I keep walking. Later, I text Owen. The backlash is overwhelming. People are either pitying me or blaming me. He responds, "Give it time. The truth about Lily and Felicity's involvement in Cade's scheme will come out in court. Time." That's the refrain everyone offers me. But it doesn't erase the tension I feel when I see scowls or get messages from Lily's old friends demanding I fix this. Still, I remind myself, I didn't cause this. Lily and Felicity did when they chose betrayal and fraud. That night, I stand at my kitchen window, the glow of street lamps soft in the distance. My reflection in the glass looks drawn, older. I never asked for this war, but now it's all around me in neighbors' whispers, in local headlines, in the raw stares of acquaintances. The cost of Lily and Felicity's choices keeps climbing, and all I can do is brace myself for what's still to come. A week drifts by, and soon the day of the preliminary hearings arrives. Lily and Felicity must appear in court alongside Cade to address the charges against them. I'm not required to testify just yet, but I choose to attend, wanting to see how this unfolds. I arrive at the county courthouse early. The building's beige walls and high ceilings create an austere ambiance that intensifies my unease. My lawyer, Owen, meets me in the hallway. He's clutching a neat stack of files, expression sober. "How's it looking?" I ask quietly. "Likely just a formality today," he says, guiding me toward the courtroom. "They'll enter pleas, possibly request bail terms. The heavier evidence will come in the next hearing." Inside, the gallery is sparsely populated reporters from a local station, a few curious spectators, and some older couples who might be Cade's other victims. I spot Charlotte Decker, the private investigator I once hired, seated discreetly in the back. She offers me a nod of recognition, camera nowhere in sight. Her presence is a reminder of how we caught Lily, Felicity, and Cade red-handed. Suddenly, a door at the side of the courtroom opens. Cade appears first, flanked by his lawyer. He's in a crisp suit, but there's an edge of desperation in his posture. Lily follows, wearing a conservative dress that seems out of character. She always preferred flashy attire. Felicity trails behind, hair pulled back, eyes darting anxiously around the room. My heart clenches at the sight of them subdued, their usual arrogance replaced with apprehension. When they notice me, Felicity's gaze drops. Lily's eyes flick with anger, but she quickly looks away. Cade glowers openly, jaw set as though blaming me for the predicament he engineered. The judge, an older woman with stern features, calls the hearing to order. The charges are read: fraud, conspiracy to commit fraud, unauthorized use of financial instruments. The list for Cade is longer, referencing multiple victims. Lily's and Felicity's charges center on aiding and abetting, plus repeated unauthorized transactions. My stomach tightens hearing each count read aloud. Cade's lawyer pleads not guilty on his behalf, claiming everything was consensual with the married women he trained. Lily's attorney tries to paint her as ignorant of the full scope of Cade's activities, while Felicity's lawyer claims she was misled by both her mother and Cade, being a naive college student. The judge listens impassively, making notes. At one point, Lily's lawyer references Mr. Townsend, implying I was controlling and used finances to trap Lily. My chest burns with silent anger, but I trust Owen's earlier advice: let them spin their stories. We have the evidence. Then Detective Ridley, sitting near the prosecution's table, stands at the judge's request. She calmly affirms that the police have documented social media posts showing Lily and Felicity bragging about spending my money. She mentions the private investigator's photographs and the series of flagged credit card transactions. The judge nods, eyes narrowing at Lily and Felicity as though seeing through the defensive facade. A recess is called. I slip into the hallway, unsure if Lily or Felicity will approach me. Sure enough, Felicity emerges from the courtroom alone, cheeks blotchy with tears. She hesitates, then steps closer, voice hushed. "Dad, please, this is insane. Mom and I shouldn't be lumped in with Cade's big scheme." My chest tightens. "You helped him spend thousands of my dollars without permission, Felicity. Did you think that had no legal repercussions?" She swallows hard, tears brimming. "He said it was no big deal, that you'd never press charges. We only wanted—" She cuts herself off, eyes dropping. Maybe she can't justify it any further. I press my lips together, fighting a wave of conflicting emotions. "You should have known better. The court sees you as an accomplice now." She nods, shakily, turning away. Before she can leave, Lily appears, her face drawn. She grabs Felicity's arm, shooting me a fiery glare. "Don't talk to him. He's making sure this all sticks so we can't walk away unscathed." A part of me wants to retort, to remind Lily she set this in motion, but I stay silent. The rage in her eyes is enough to tell me any logic is wasted right now. Cade steps out next, meets my gaze with undisguised contempt, then ushers Lily and Felicity away, muttering something under his breath. After recess, the judge reconvenes to finalize bail conditions. Cade's bail is set high due to multiple victims. Lily and Felicity are granted supervised release, but with a stern warning not to attempt further credit card charges or contact potential witnesses. The judge schedules the next hearing for evidence review in a few weeks. As we exit, Owen pats my shoulder. "That went about as expected. They're pleading ignorance. We'll counter with documentation." I nod, heart heavy. On my way out, a couple I recognize, Mr. and Mrs. Hargrove, who were also scammed by Cade, approach me. Mrs. Hargrove looks wary. "We read about your situation, Garrett. We're sorry you got tangled with that man. He targeted my sister, too." Sympathy mingles with relief. It's good to hear I'm not alone. "I'm sorry for your family as well," I say softly. "Hopefully justice is served." They nod, then slip away. Outside the courthouse, reporters gather, cameras perched on shoulders. I skirt around them, not wanting to make a statement. My phone chimes a text from Travis. "How'd it go?" All I can manage is a short reply. They pleaded not guilty. Next hearing soon. Climbing into my car, I release a shaky sigh. The swirl of legal proceedings has only begun, but the public spectacle weighs on me. Lily's attorney is painting me as some oppressive husband. Felicity is lost between guilt and denial, and Cade keeps playing the victim card. Yet the judge's expressions, Detective Ridley's presence, and the uncovered evidence all indicate we're on a solid path. As I drive home, the glow of streetlights flickers against the windshield. This ordeal is far from over, but it feels like a turning point. They can try to rewrite the story, but the courtroom thrives on facts. And the facts are damning for Lily, Felicity, and especially Cade. My only hope is that, in time, I can stand on that witness stand, present the truth, and finally see some measure of accountability. Weeks slip by in a tense limbo of court dates and negotiations. Each time I enter the courthouse, I sense the weight of Lily's and Felicity's stares. Cade's lawyer attempts various tactics, plea bargains, claims of entrapment, but the prosecution stands firm, backed by a flood of evidence from Detective Ridley, Owen, and other victims. In the end, a plea deal emerges. Cade agrees to plead guilty to multiple counts of fraud in exchange for a reduced sentence, though still substantial prison time. When the day for the final hearing arrives, the courtroom is more crowded than before. Word spread that a fitness trainer to wealthy spouses is being sentenced, and people are curious. I sit in the front row with Owen, feeling a quiet resignation. Lily and Felicity file in, looking exhausted, their once polished appearances dulled by stress. Lily's face is gaunt, Felicity's hair limp, both wearing subdued clothes. Gone are the glamorous outfits of old. The judge reads out Cade's sentence, a multi-year prison term plus heavy restitution to his victims. He stands silently, jaw clenched. When the judge turns to Lily and Felicity, the gallery hushes. They're charged as co-conspirators, though at a lesser level. The judge notes the substantial sums spent on my credit cards, the public boasting, and how their actions supported Cade's larger scheme. However, the judge says, tone measured, given your lack of prior convictions, I'm inclined to grant suspended sentences contingent on restitution and probationary conditions. I exhale, a complicated mix of relief and bitterness swirling in my gut. Lily and Felicity won't go to prison, but they'll face a supervised probation period and hefty fines. Plus, they're ordered to pay back certain amounts, the specifics of which are hammered out with the help of attorneys. After the hearing, Lily and Felicity shuffle out, avoiding eye contact with me. Outside, a light drizzle falls, matching the somber mood. I linger under the courthouse awning as Owen summarizes the outcome. They'll owe restitution, some to you, some to other parties. The total is substantial. And with Cade now incarcerated, they have no fallback. An odd sense of pity bubbles up. They'll have to sell possessions. Maybe Lily's car, any valuables left? Owen nods. Yes, and possibly Felicity's college funds if she even remains enrolled. Her scholarship might be revoked for violation of moral conduct codes, given the criminal case. I swallow, my daughter's future, battered by her own hand. Mixed with my anger is a pang of regret. I never wanted her to lose her education. Owen's gaze softens. Actions have consequences, Garrett. She made those choices. In the days that follow, news of the sentencing ripples through social media. Lily and Felicity, once fixtures in trendy circles, are now pariahs. I see glimpses of Felicity's page apologies posted, desperate attempts to salvage her image. The comments section is a war zone. Some call her a fraudster's accomplice. Others express sympathy that Cade manipulated her. Lily, once proud and unapologetic, has gone largely silent. One afternoon, I receive a curt call from Lily's mother, Marion. She's furious about the restitution demands, claiming I'm ruining Lily's life. But I calmly remind her that Lily's crimes are documented. Marion huffs and ends the call, leaving me more drained than before. A week later, a letter arrives from Felicity's college. I open it, half dreading the news. Indeed, it's a notice of disciplinary action, stating Felicity is suspended for a semester due to her criminal involvement. My throat tightens. She's losing the very future I once paid for. I text Owen. She's officially suspended. I feel guilty, but I can't fix this. He replies, she must face reality. You can't intervene now without undermining your own legal position. Even if I wanted to help, I recognize it would undo the boundary I fought so hard to establish. They manipulated me once, and I can't let it happen again. The day Lily and Felicity come to the house to gather personal items is a somber one. I stand near the front door, arms crossed, as Lily moves through the living room, picking up frames, vases, and small trinkets. Felicity lingers behind her, eyes downcast. The once cozy atmosphere is replaced by tension so thick it's suffocating. When Felicity spots the family portraits on the mantel, tears slip down her cheeks. She glances at me, voice trembling. Can I take one of these? My instinct is to say yes, but bitterness rears up. These are the same people who mocked me online. Then again, she's my daughter. With a sigh, I nod. Sure, just one. She carefully lifts a small frame, the photo of us at a beach trip years ago, all smiles. Lily avoids my gaze throughout, saying nothing, expression set in stone. I sense her pride keeps her from acknowledging the devastation. Instead, she quietly packs a suitcase, takes a few expensive purses, most likely soon to be sold for cash, and then they leave without a final word. After they're gone, the silence in the house feels strangely amplified. A wave of exhaustion hits, realizing this is the new normal. Lily and Felicity effectively stripped of their old lifestyle, forced to sell possessions, carrying criminal records, Cade behind bars, and me, alone in a house that holds both painful memories and a semblance of victory. That evening, I sit at the kitchen table, scanning news updates. Local trainer sentenced in fraud scheme. Co-conspirators receive probation, restitution orders. A few friends text me expressions of relief or shock. Some ask if I'll reach out to Lily or Felicity, but I have no words left. They need to live with their choices. I just want to move on, though the sense of regret for how far we fell is undeniable. Before bed, I shuffle through a box of old papers in the guest room where I've slept since Lily's betrayal. Tucked beneath receipts and letters is a simple congrats card from years ago. Lily wrote it when I got promoted at work, praising me for my dedication, ending with, "Your success is our success." I can barely remember that version of her now. Times change, I think, pushing the card back into the box. The sentencing is done, the legal settlements established, and Lily's and Felicity's illusions shattered. I got what I wanted. Accountability. And yet, I can't help but feel the sting of a hollow victory in the quiet hush of this too-empty home. The for sale sign goes up in our front yard on a bright Saturday morning. I watch from the porch as a real estate agent, Marjorie Cook, hammers it into the grass. The house, once a symbol of Lily's endless redesigns and social climbing, is about to belong to someone else. A swirl of relief and nostalgia hits me. After everything, walking away feels like the final step in shedding old ties. Marjorie dusts her hands off. Open house next week. Market's good should sell quickly. I nod, forcing a small smile. That's what I'm hoping. She offers a sympathetic tilt of her head. I'm sorry for the circumstances, Mr. Townsend. This is a lovely property. I give a curt nod, swallowing the flood of memories. The agent departs and I wander inside, the emptiness echoing my footfalls. Most of Lily's personal items are gone. Felicity's room sits half-stripped, posters torn down, drawers empty. Each missing piece reminds me of how thoroughly the family unit has dissolved. Around midday, I meet Travis for a casual coffee. The cafe is lightly buzzing with patrons, but no one pays us much mind. We settle at a corner table. He glances at me, concern etched in his features. How are you holding up, man? I let out a long exhale, gripping my mug. I'm tired. The sentencing's over, the restitution's set, and the house is on the market. Feels like I'm packing up my entire life. Travis nods quietly. Some big transitions? Any regrets about taking the legal route? My throat tightens. I think about Lily's meltdown, Felicity's tears, the publicity. I regret that it had to come to this, but not the decision itself. I couldn't keep letting them exploit me, especially once they turned so cruel. He sighs. I get it. People talk, but they don't know the full story. You did what you had to. We chat for a bit about work, about potential new beginnings. After Travis leaves, I linger, sipping my coffee slowly. One of Lily's old acquaintances, Pamela, passes by. She offers a terse greeting, obviously uncomfortable. I realize she's probably still loyal to Lily, or at least thinks I ruined Lily's image. My shoulders slump as I watch her hurry out the door. Back at the house, I shuffle through each room, making an inventory of what to sell or donate. In the formal dining area, memories of forced dinners flood my mind, Lily trying to impress guests, Felicity sneering at my boring talk. Not all of it was bad, but the bitterness overshadows any warmth. I snap pictures of the mahogany table to post online for sale. Let a new family make better memories around it. As the sun dips low, I drag a couple of boxes to the curb for charity pickup. My phone buzzes Owen. Garrett, just wanted to confirm everything's settled. The sale of the house will finalize in a few weeks if you get an offer, but legally, you're free to do as you wish. The divorce is almost done, waiting on final signatures from Lily's side. I brush sweat from my brow. She hasn't signed yet? He exhales through the line. Apparently she's stalling, maybe hoping for some miracle. But the court can finalize it even without her cooperation, given the circumstances. I nod to myself. All right, keep me posted. Dusk settles, painting the sky with streaks of orange and purple. I rummage through the garage, passing by old paint cans, half-used sports equipment. Lily was always about renovating, painting a room, redoing floors, never satisfied with what we had. Now, ironically, she has nothing left to renovate. When I step back into the living room, I notice a small slip of paper on the floor. It's a note from Felicity dated a week prior. In shaky handwriting, it reads, I'm sorry for everything, Dad. I wish I could undo it. Maybe we'll talk someday. A pang lances through my chest. Despite all her cruelty and betrayal, she's still my child, and she's not entirely unfeeling. I set the note aside, unsure if I can find it in me to respond. By late evening, exhaustion seeps into my bones. I collapse onto the couch, gaze drifting to the half-bare walls. The house, its emptiness, now mirrors my internal state, a quiet acceptance that life has moved on. I recall Lily's final phone call, Felicity's tears, Cade's smug threats, all overshadowed by the unstoppable momentum of consequences. A new text pops up. This one from Sarah, a neighbor who used to side-eye me after the scandal. It says simply, heard about the house sale. Wishing you peace. You deserve better. Surprised, I offer a thin smile. Even some of Lily's old friends see the truth now. I find myself stepping outside for fresh air. The yard, meticulously landscaped to Lily's standards, looks the same, but it no longer feels like mine. I realize I'm ready to let it go. Let some new family fill these rooms with laughter. Let me start over somewhere smaller, somewhere that doesn't echo with betrayal. The for sale sign glints under a street lamp, a tangible symbol of my life in transition. Tomorrow, the realtor will show the house to potential buyers. Soon enough, I'll sign it away and step into the next chapter. Hope versus trauma, as I've come to frame it. I carry the scars, but also the faint glimmer of new possibilities. A late breeze rustles the hedges. I stand there, absorbing the hush of night. Maybe I'm not fully free, yet my mind still churns with regrets and bitter memories. But physically, financially, and legally, I'm almost there. This place, once a testament to Lily's relentless quest for status, is no longer my burden. I head back inside, locking the door behind me. In just a few weeks, I'll be somewhere else, forging a path unencumbered by Lily's demands or Felicity's manipulations. The thought both saddens and liberates me. It's time to move on, to shed this house like old skin. Because if there's one thing I've learned, it's that the best revenge is simply breaking free from the chaos they created and finally choosing peace for myself. The crisp morning air presses gently against my face as I step onto the balcony of my new condo. A twinge of disbelief runs through me. After all the chaos, I've actually moved. The building itself is nothing extravagant. 4 floors, modest brick exterior, an elevator that creaks softly, but it feels like an entirely different universe from the suburban house I left behind. I've spent the past week unpacking, turning this blank space into something resembling home. Gone are the ornate furnishings Lily once insisted upon. In their place, I've chosen simple wooden shelves, a cozy gray couch, and a modest dining table that seats 4, though I have no plans to host dinners anytime soon. Even the color scheme is calming whites and gentle blues, a stark contrast to the flashy decor I once endured. That first night here, I set up my bed in the corner bedroom with a wide window that overlooks the city skyline. Waking to see those lights blinking in the distance felt strangely comforting. It reminded me that the world goes on, no matter how personal one's upheaval might be. This morning I slip into casual running clothes, something I rarely wore before. Lily used to buy me designer workout gear I hardly touched, but now I find myself wanting an early run to clear my head. Maybe it's symbolic, a new routine for a new life. I jog down the hall, passing neighbors I've yet to formally meet, then descend to the street. Outside, the sun's just climbing over the buildings. The sidewalks are dotted with a few dog walkers. An older man reading a paper at a cafe. No one looks at me with pity or judgment. I'm just another face in the crowd, not the man whose personal scandal turned into local gossip. There's a startling sense of relief in that anonymity. My feet pound the pavement in a steady rhythm. I breathe in the city's morning scent, baked pastries from a corner bakery, damp sidewalks from last night's drizzle. I'm out of shape, lungs burning a little, but I push on. Each footfall feels like I'm pounding out the residue of betrayal, forging a path free from Lily's endless demands or Felicity's resentful glares. After 20 minutes, I return to the condo, feeling pleasantly exhausted. I step into my minimalist living room, the boxes I've unpacked stacked neatly near the trash. In the quiet hush, I feel the strangest emotion, contentment. I may still ache over the past, but at least here I can set my own pace. A knock on my door jolts me from my thoughts. When I open up, I'm greeted by Owen Merrick, my lawyer-turned-friend. He balances a tray of coffees. "Thought I'd stop by, see how you're settling in," he says, stepping inside. I grin, grateful for the visit. It's not the Ritz, but it feels right. He hands me a coffee, scanning the space. "Everything looks good, simple, but comfortable. How's it feel to wake up in a place that's entirely yours?" I exhale, sinking onto the couch. Honestly, peaceful, not haunted by old memories. Also a bit lonely, but I'll take lonely over constant tension. Owen nods thoughtfully, then sets his coffee down. "So how are you coping otherwise? The divorce is nearly finalized, the lawsuit is done. Are you still thinking about that therapy idea?" I recall our conversation from weeks past. He suggested I see a counselor to handle the emotional rubble Lily and Felicity left behind. Yeah, I found someone recommended by a colleague. I'm thinking of setting up an appointment soon, just to talk. Good, Owen says, genuine relief in his voice. I know it's not your usual thing, but after everything, it might help you process. You don't want to carry that anger forever. The idea unsettles me a little, but I know he's right. Thanks, I say. And thanks for dropping by with coffee. My cupboards are still half empty. I haven't stocked up properly. He laughs, heading for the door. Next time you owe me lunch, Townsend. Try not to become a hermit in this place, okay? We exchange a friendly farewell, and I lean against the closed door after he's gone. It strikes me that this condo is the first residence I've chosen entirely for myself since my early 20s. Back then, I lived in a cramped studio, dreaming of success, never imagining a marriage that would end so brutally. Now, in my mid-40s, I'm oddly full circle, except, hopefully, a little wiser. That afternoon, I explore the neighborhood on foot, discovering a small library, a quaint park, and a series of eclectic shops. At a bookstore, I browse the shelves aimlessly, pausing when I notice a sign advertising a local author's talk. A fleeting thought crosses my mind. Maybe I could attend, meet new people, do something normal for once. Still, I hesitate. Social events remind me of Lily, her ability to slip into any crowd, charming them at will. I was always the quiet supporter in the background. Now I wonder if I have any social presence of my own. Another pang surfaces. Felicity used to tease me about not being up to speed with modern trends. The memory stings, but I push it aside. Back at the condo, I toss my new books on the coffee table and collapse into the armchair. A breeze drifts through the half-open window, carrying city sounds, car horns, distant chatter. There's a soft hum of life here, comforting in its neutrality. My phone buzzes with a text from Travis, asking if I've settled in well. A moment later, I see a missed call from an unknown number. My pulse quickens slightly. Could it be Lily or Felicity? But there's no voicemail, so I let it go. I flick on the TV, scanning channels for something to fill the silence, but everything seems too loud, too chaotic. Instead, I shut it off and lean my head back, closing my eyes. The last few months reel in my mind Lily's betrayal, Felicity's scorn, Cade's arrogance, the ugly confrontation. Each memory leaves a bruise on my psyche, but here, in the gentle quiet of my own space, I can breathe. After a while, I grab a notebook from the small desk. I start jotting random goals. Improve fitness, read more, possibly volunteer. Even scribble something about philanthropic ventures. There's a local charity for families facing financial abuse that Owen mentioned. The idea resonates, a chance to use my experiences to help others. As dusk settles, the city lights flicker on. From my balcony, I watch them shimmer against the horizon. It's mesmerizing, a tapestry of small, glowing windows, each belonging to someone living their own narrative. Mine, I realize, is shifting from revenge and heartbreak to quiet rebuilding. For the first time in a long while, I feel a delicate flicker of hope. It's fragile, yes, and I know there's emotional wreckage still to navigate. But in this simpler life, with no one demanding I prove my worth or foot endless bills, I sense a calm determination blossoming. This condo might be small, but it's mine. The routines like my morning run are mine. The decisions about how to spend my day are mine. I smile faintly, letting the cool night breeze wash over me. This is the first step in reclaiming who I am, separate from Lily's betrayal and Felicity's manipulations. Maybe it's the beginning of something more than just survival. Maybe it's the start of a life genuinely worth living. The next few days bring a gentle rhythm to my routine. Morning runs, work at the office, evenings spent exploring the neighborhood or reading. Yet just as I start settling into this new normal, unexpected tremors from my old life creep back in. It begins with a call from an unknown number one afternoon. This time, the caller leaves a voicemail. "Dad, it's Felicity. Call me, please." Her tone is subdued, a far cry from the brazen scorn she displayed before. My chest tightens. We haven't spoken since the courtroom fiasco. Despite all that's happened, she's still my daughter. I debate ignoring it, but fatherly concern wins out. When I dial her back, she answers on the second ring, voice trembling. "Dad, hi. I'm sorry to bother you, but I'm in a tough spot. My scholarship is gone and I got evicted from my off-campus apartment. Mom can't help, we're both struggling. I don't know what to do. A swirl of emotions churns. Anger at how she contributed to her own downfall, pity for her predicament, and guilt at the fatherly instinct to protect. I force a measured tone. Felicity, I'm sorry things are tough, but you chose to spend those funds on less than honorable things. I warned you. She sniffles. I know, I messed up, but I want to fix it. I'm trying to find a job to pay restitution. Is there any way you could help me for a while? I'll pay you back once I get stable. A pause hangs in the air. I recall the heartbreak she caused, her cruel posts about me. But she's my child, and she sounds desperate. I can't fully bankroll your life anymore, I say quietly. I learned that lesson the hard way, but maybe I can help with essentials food, a place to stay if you truly want to rebuild. Her relief is almost palpable. Thank you, Dad. I promise I'm not going back to Cade's ways. He used me, and I see that now. I nod, ignoring the pang of sorrow. All right, let me think it over. I'll call you back tomorrow with a plan. We end the call, leaving me torn. My fatherly duty collides with the emotional scars of betrayal. I text Owen for advice. Felicity wants help. Don't want to enable her. Thoughts? He replies, set firm boundaries. Maybe partial support, short term. She must show real effort. That aligns with my gut feelings. The next day, I propose paying for a temporary motel if Felicity commits to job hunting. She agrees, sounding grateful. Yet a knot of anxiety lodges in me. Am I inviting further manipulation? Still, I can't let her roam the streets. I settle on a short-term solution, refusing large sums of cash in her hands. She's free to find a roommate or short-term lease, but I won't co-sign it. Later that week, Lily resurfaces in the form of a late-night text. Felicity says you're helping her. What about me? I'm about to lose everything. My breath catches. She's still my estranged wife, though nearly divorced. Part of me wonders if she truly regrets her actions or just wants a financial lifeline again. Typing back, I keep it short. Our divorce is almost finalized. You have restitution to pay. I can't bail you out. Her response is swift and bitter. I see how it is. Don't pretend you didn't love me once. A pang of old memories surfaces wedding vows, shared laughter in earlier years. But that Lily is gone. My jaw sets as I delete the conversation, refusing to engage. She made her choices. Over the next days, I occasionally see missed calls from her number, which I ignore. The boundaries must stand. Work becomes a sanctuary. My colleague Travis notices I'm more focused, perhaps because immersing myself in tasks keeps me from dwelling on Lily's manipulations and Felicity's struggles. One afternoon, Travis invites me to a small gathering at Amelia's, a lounge where people from our firm sometimes mingle. Normally, I'd decline, but a tiny voice inside urges me to break old patterns. That evening, I step into Amelia's, feeling awkward in casual slacks and a collared shirt. The place is low-lit, music playing softly. People chatter in small circles, sipping drinks. Travis spots me, waves me over to a table with two coworkers and a friend of his named Nina. She's a marketing consultant, lively but unpretentious. As the group chats about local events, I find myself drawn into the conversation, even cracking a joke or two. Nina laughs, asks me about my new condo. I realize I'm not stumbling for words, not overshadowed by Lily's demands or Felicity's attitude. For the first time in ages, I feel normal, like a man enjoying an after-work get-together, not a spectacle of marital scandal. Later, as the group disperses, Nina lingers. She smiles kindly. Heard about your situation. Sorry you had to go through that. My stomach clenches, but her tone isn't pitying, just understanding. I exhale. Thanks. I'm rebuilding, I guess. She nods. We've all got messes in our past, some bigger than others. If you ever need a friend to talk to, I'm around. She hands me a business card with her number, the universal sign of friendly networking. I tuck it into my wallet, feeling oddly buoyed. That small encounter lifts my spirits, yet I remain cautious. My trust was shattered by those I loved most, so letting new people in feels risky. But at least it's a reminder I'm not doomed to solitude. Back at the condo, I pick up some groceries for the first time in weeks, fresh vegetables, chicken, staples that encourage me to cook. Lily always handled the meals or had them delivered, controlling even the contents of our fridge. Now I find a strange satisfaction in choosing what I eat, how I live. A call from Felicity interrupts my dinner prep. She's teary but steady. "Dad, I got an interview for a receptionist job. Wanted to say thanks for helping with the motel." Relief trickles through me. At least she's trying. "That's good news," I say. "Keep me posted." We hang up without drama, a refreshing change. Still, anxiety nibbles at the edges of my mind. What if Lily escalates her demands? What if Felicity backslides? The memory of them draining my finances, mocking me, fueling Cade's schemes stings deeply. I must keep firm boundaries. I sink onto my couch, the city lights twinkling through the window. My new routine morning runs, a calmer workspace, occasional social outings feels fragile but promising. The calls from Lily and Felicity remind me that my old life won't vanish overnight. Yet I can handle these challenges on my terms now. Nina's card peeks out from my wallet, a silent invitation to connect. Maybe I will. Or maybe I need more time to heal. Either way, I hold the power to decide. The sense of possibility feels good. As I drift off to sleep, I reflect on how easily I once caved to Lily's or Felicity's demands. Now, each boundary I set is an anchor in my newly claimed life. It's not perfect, unforeseen challenges still arise, but for once, I have confidence in my ability to face them, free from the manipulative swirl of the past. A few more weeks pass, weaving a patchwork of small victories and quiet introspection. Felicity lands that receptionist job, sending me occasional updates. She's still on shaky ground financially, but at least she's not relying on me for every dime. Lily's attempts at contacting me taper off, perhaps realizing I won't budge from my stance. Meanwhile, I start exploring the philanthropic angle that's been nudging my mind. One crisp Saturday morning, I head to a modest community center near my condo, a place rumored to assist individuals recovering from financial abuse or exploitation. The sign on the door reads, "Haven House, empowering families toward stability." My chest tightens. That could have been me if Lily and Cade had bled me dry. Inside, I meet Trina, the coordinator, a warm-hearted woman who greets me with a smile. When I explain I'm interested in volunteering or supporting their cause, her eyes light up. "We have families here who've been scammed in various ways: credit fraud, identity theft, manipulation by spouses. We need mentors, donors, anything you can offer." It's eerie how perfectly it aligns with my experience. I nod, feeling a surge of empathy. I can donate financially, and if it helps, I might share some of my story anonymously if needed. Let people know they're not alone. Trina's smile broadens. "That's exactly what we need. We run small workshops to educate people about protecting their finances. Your first-hand perspective could be invaluable." Over the next few days, I coordinate with her, deciding on a modest initial donation and scheduling a short talk for one of their workshops. A pang of nerves flutters at the idea of speaking publicly, but it also feels cathartic, a chance to turn my nightmare into someone else's cautionary tale. Meanwhile, at my workplace, I find renewed focus. My projects benefit from the calmness I've gained, and Travis teases that I'm on track for a promotion. I just smile, quietly thankful for an environment where I can excel without the constant drama Lily once ignited. In the midst of this, I receive a surprising invitation from Nina, the marketing consultant I met at Amelia's. She hosts small networking dinners, inviting professionals from various industries. "It's casual, just a chance to meet interesting people, maybe spark collaborations," she explains. "No pressure, but I'd love for you to come." I hesitate. Dinners used to be Lily's domain, orchestrated for social climbing, but I sense Nina's is different, a genuine attempt at fostering connections. Eventually, I say yes, determined not to let fear or old triggers keep me locked away. When the evening arrives, I drive to a charming brownstone where Nina lives. The living room bustles with conversation people from marketing, law, tech startups, a local journalist. They chat about city developments and personal passions, sipping wine or soft drinks. The atmosphere is cozy, no forced smiles or cutthroat competition. It reminds me how life can be friendly, welcoming when not overshadowed by betrayal. Nina ushers me in, introducing me around. Soon we're gathered around a large wooden table. The tableware is an eclectic mix of colorful plates, mismatched glasses far from the pristine matching sets Lily used to demand. Yet the warmth is palpable. Over hearty bowls of pasta, we swap stories about our careers and personal journeys. I keep my details vague, recently divorced, starting fresh but no one pries. They just listen kindly, nodding in sympathy. The local journalist, Kara, perks up at my mention of philanthropic interests. "Oh, I wrote a piece on Haven House last year. They do great work. If you're volunteering there, maybe we could do a follow-up story highlighting donor perspectives." I'm startled by the idea of publicity. I'd prefer to stay low-key. My situation was messy, and I don't want it front and center. Still, I appreciate her passion. After dinner, while others chat or exchange business cards, Nina gently taps my shoulder. We step aside and she smiles. "Thanks for coming. You seemed comfortable enough." A rueful chuckle escapes me. Better than I expected. Honestly, I was dreading stiff small talk about my divorce, but you all made me feel normal. She nods. That's the goal. Life's too short to let heartbreak define us. We just keep moving forward, hopefully with good people by our side. Those words resonate. For so long, I let Lily and Felicity's betrayal overshadow every moment. Now, I'm discovering a world beyond that pain, a world of possibility. I leave Nina's house that night feeling both energized and strangely vulnerable, like stepping out onto a thin ledge of hope. A week later, it's time for my talk at Haven House. Standing at the front of a modest room with folding chairs, my palms sweat. About 15 attendees, mostly men and women in various stages of emotional or financial recovery, watch me expectantly. Trina introduces me as someone who lived through spousal financial manipulation and came out stronger. I swallow the lump in my throat. For half an hour, I share a condensed version of my story, focusing on how I was blindsided, how it escalated, and the legal steps I took to protect myself. I omit personal names and the salacious details, keeping it practical and respectful. My voice shakes at points, especially when I mention betrayal by a loved one. But the audience's understanding nods encourage me. They know the heartbreak, too. Afterward, a woman named Jamie approaches me. Her eyes brim with tears. "You described so much of what I went through. Thank you for telling your story. I felt alone before, like I was stupid for trusting someone who hurt me financially." Her gratitude nearly unravels me. I place a hand on her shoulder, offering a supportive smile. "You're not alone. It's a manipulation game. Don't blame yourself. Just keep building a safer future." Leaving Haven House that evening, a new sense of purpose blossoms. My experiences, painful as they are, can help others find their footing. That knowledge is more empowering than any revenge or monetary settlement. I'm not just forging a fresh life for myself. I'm using my past scars to illuminate pitfalls for others. As I drive back to the condo, streetlights flicker over the windshield, reflecting the swirl of my emotions. Felicity's slow progress, Lily's continuing bitterness, new friendships forming with folks like Nina, philanthropic engagement, it all signals I'm moving on. The heartbreak lingers, but it no longer owns me. I'm discovering that in the wake of betrayal, new opportunities can arise both for personal growth and for connecting with people who need someone who understands. Once home, I pause by my small desk, glancing at the typed notes for my talk. The last line reads, "It's possible to start again, stronger than before." I run a finger over the sentence, letting its truth sink in. I'm living that possibility every day now, forging something new from the ashes of what Lily and Felicity left behind. A gentle breeze wafts through my condo as I gather paperwork from the coffee table, final legal forms that mark the completion of my divorce. Owen had them couriered over this morning, the last signatures from Lily now official. The dissolution is finalized in the court's eyes. I stare at the words, realizing that piece of paper ties a bow on years of life I once thought permanent. Setting the documents aside, I slip on a light jacket. I'm meeting Owen for a celebratory lunch, or at least a reflective one. We decided on a small bistro near downtown that overlooks a modest city park. As I arrive, he's already at a patio table, sipping iced tea. He greets me with a warm handshake. "Congratulations or condolences," he says wryly. tapping the stack of papers I place on the table. I'm not sure which is more appropriate. I half smile. Maybe both. I'm not jumping for joy, but there's relief. Feels like I can finally breathe. He nods, pushing a menu my way. You deserve peace. Lily's signed everything, so no more legal entanglements remain. We chat about logistics, property transfers, final settlement details. Then conversation drifts to simpler things. My volunteer work at Haven House, the networking dinners Nina hosts, Felicity's attempts to stand on her own 2 feet. Finally, we pay the bill and part ways, exchanging a sincere hug. Despite being my lawyer, Owen's become a genuine friend, someone who witnessed my darkest days and guided me out. That afternoon, I decide to do something symbolic. Digging through a small box in my closet, I find the wedding ring I stopped wearing ages ago. I hold it between my fingers, recalling how once it felt like a badge of honor, a promise of loyalty. Now, it's a relic, tarnished by deceit. I slip the ring into my pocket and head to a local donation center that also does metal recycling. The staff there is used to divorces or estate clearances, so they offer no judgment when I request to recycle the ring. The moment I hand it over, a wave of bittersweet finality washes over me. I'm discarding the tangible symbol of Lily's union with me, letting the metal be melted down or repurposed. A quiet tension leaves my chest. Emerging from the center, I notice my reflection in a store window. I look older than I remember, a few extra lines around my eyes, some gray in my hair. But there's something in my expression resolved, maybe. The knowledge that I'm the one steering my life now. That evening, I return to the condo, setting out a single candle on my coffee table. I light it, letting the soft glow fill the room. My phone pings with a text from Felicity. Got my first paycheck. It's not huge, but it's a start. I smile, replying with a short, encouraging note. Part of me worries about her, but at least she's forging ahead. We're forging new relationships with each other, albeit slowly. As night deepens, I reflect on how far I've come since the day Lily and Felicity ambushed me about open marriage. My life is unrecognizable, yet strangely better in ways I never expected. My finances are stable, no one draining them. My emotional state, while scarred, feels anchored in self-respect. I have new connections, from Nina's circle to the folks at Haven House. And best of all, I can wake up in the morning without bracing for the next betrayal. A few days later, Nina invites me to another dinner this time, a smaller affair. Just her and a couple of acquaintances. We might watch an indie film after or play some board games. Lauki, you in? She asks cheerfully. I hesitate, not entirely sure if I'm ready for a close-knit gathering. But I recall how well the last event went. Sure, I say, mentally stepping outside my comfort zone again. When I arrive at Nina's place, I notice the comfortable glow of lamplight through her windows. She greets me at the door with a friendly smile. Inside, 2 of her friends, a couple named Matt and Alexis, banter happily about a new cafe they discovered. Within minutes, I'm drawn into their conversation, discussing local coffee shops and comedic anecdotes from work. We laugh over silly board games, groan at the film's pretentious dialogue, and share glimpses of personal stories, but in a supportive, uplifting way. At one point, Nina glances at me, curiosity dancing in her eyes. So, Garrett, what's next for you? Big plans? I pause. I've spent so long reacting to Lily's drama that the future feels like uncharted territory. I'm not sure, I admit. I've started volunteering, meeting new people. Maybe I'll travel more or launch a small side business, or just enjoy the calm for now. She nods, understanding. Calm is underrated. That phrase lingers in my mind as we finish the evening. Calm was scarce in my old life, overshadowed by Lily's demands and Felicity's mocking. Now calm is my baseline, a blank canvas on which I can paint new ambitions. A few weeks pass in this rhythm of normalcy. Work hums along. I collaborate on a project that challenges me intellectually. Felicity texts sporadically, updating me on her modest progress. She's saving a bit of money, planning to reapply for college next year if she can keep out of trouble. Lily remains quiet, presumably coping with her restitution obligations. I hear rumors she's sold most of her luxury items for cash. On a bright Saturday morning, I decide to drive a few hours upstate to a hiking trail I read about. The open road, lined with towering pines, invigorates me. Parking at the trailhead, I set off on foot, the crisp mountain air filling my lungs. Leaves crunch under my boots as I ascend a gentle slope. In the hush of nature, memories swirl. The betrayal, the legal battles, the heartbreak. Yet I feel them from a distance, as if they're old news. I'm no longer consumed by them. Near the summit, I pause to admire the sweeping view, rolling hills, a vast sky peppered with clouds, and a sense that the world is bigger than my problems. My phone buzzes, but I let it ring. This is my time. Eventually, I glance at the screen. It's from a number I don't recognize. I ignore it, feeling no rush to check. I stand there, letting the wind tousle my hair, absorbing the quiet majesty of the moment. Only on the way down do I read the text. It's from an old acquaintance, just a generic greeting. Nothing urgent. I'm reminded how life used to revolve around frantic calls from Lily or Felicity. Now I'm free to choose when and how I respond. A small grin forms on my lips. By late afternoon, I'm back in my condo, sore from the hike but glowing with accomplishment. I notice the faint echoes of emptiness, but it's a peaceful emptiness, not the oppressive solitude I once feared. Flicking on a lamp, I glance out the window at the city lights blinking in the dusk. For the first time in a long while, I genuinely look forward to tomorrow, not because I'm anticipating revenge or bracing for a fight, but because I'm forging a future under my own terms. In many ways, this new sense of self feels like the final step in my journey. I've regained control of my life, discovered new passions, built or renewed friendships, and established a more authentic relationship with my daughter. There are no illusions about quick fixes. The scars remain, but they don't define me anymore. I'm free, standing on a horizon unclouded by Lily and Felicity's manipulations. Turning away from the window, I power up my laptop. Perhaps I'll plan another talk at Haven House or check out new business ideas. The choices are endless, and that is the sweetest victory of all. Resilience and forward momentum, the words sum up everything I've gained. I survived betrayal, took my revenge by securing justice, and now stand strong, facing the future with guarded optimism. At last, I'm no longer a prisoner of the past, but an active architect of what comes next.